We are live inside NRG Stadium in Houston as Texan Live continues its coverage of the 2015 UIL playoffs. And tonight it's the Class 6A Division II Region 3 championship game between the number 2 ranked Katy Tigers and the 9th ranked Manvel Mavericks. It's the third meeting in consecutive years in the state quarterfinal round, and we're glad you've joined us. Hello, everyone. Alongside former Texas Longhorn Ken Moore, I'm Michael Silvers. As if there weren't enough storylines heading into this game, a bombshell was dropped on Wednesday when word came out about a possible forfeiture of the Katy Tigers' 66-0 victory over Friendswood 7 days ago. Katy ISD Athletic Director Debbie Decker had unintentionally overlooked the transfer rule regarding playoff participation that wasn't located in the same area of the University Interscholastic League's Constitution and Contest Rules document, and as such the player, a sophomore who had played for Seven Lakes during the regular season and was one of the 100 players who saw game action against Friendswood, with his entry into the game coming well after the Tigers had a 50-plus point lead, was ruled to be ineligible. The UIL's 3-member state executive committee held an emergency meeting yesterday morning and heard testimony from Decker, Katy head coach Gary Joseph, and Katy ISD superintendent Dr. Alton Fraley, and looked over all the materials presented by Decker and took in consideration Katy ISD's history of exemplary behavior and status and how they self-reported their oversight, and ruled that the kids should not be disqualified or punished for the oversight by an adult, and came to the ruling of a public reprimand and 1 year's probation. So after all that, Kid Moore, we still have a game to play.
We do have a game to play, and it is a pleasure and a privilege that both of these ball clubs are able to participate tonight. Tough deal for Katy, what they had to go through on Wednesday into Thursday. The ruling came down in their favor. For the record, I am in favor of the ruling. I think that these kids should not be punished by one simple mistake by the administration. But with that said, we have football inside NRG Stadium here tonight. Third go-round in a row for Katy, the defending regional champions, going up against Manvel, who is looking to unseat them.
The Tigers come into this game winners of the last 3 regional championships in this season. The offense has been great, but the defense has been even better.
Defense outstanding this season, only giving up less than 3 points per ball game, 9 shutouts on the season, captivated by that 66-0 shutout of Friendswood last week. But tonight, they are going against a Manvel offense that has scored over 70 points per game in the first 3 playoff outings.
This is the last chance for Manvel quarterback De'Eric King, wide receiver Reggie Hemphill-Maps, and others on this Mavericks team that were on this team last year and even 2 years ago to finally dethrone Katy after 2 previous unsuccessful efforts in which they were dominated. The Mavs have scored 70 or more points in each of their first 3 playoff victories, and now add to the mix a possible distraction factor.
Well, I think you can throw the distraction factor out the window at this point. I think once 11 o'clock hit on Thursday afternoon and Katy got the ruling down that they were going to play, everybody was excited. We talked to Coach Kurt Morton of Manvel before the game. He says he doesn't want it any other way. If they want to be a state champion, they want to go through the best. The best right now in the city of Houston in Region 3 are the Katy Tigers.
Coming up next, we'll have interviews with both head coaches. We'll begin with Katy Tiger head coach Gary Joseph, and we preface that we did ask him before we conducted the interview if he wanted to speak a little bit about the UIL ruling. He preferred not to. He did comment a little bit on it at the beginning of the interview, and you will hear that next as we continue here from NRG Stadium. It's the site of the Class 6A Division II Region 3 championship game. Katy and Manvel, we're just getting started here on Texan Live.
Can a Texas Realtor help you sell your home? Of course. Is a Texas Realtor your go-to source to buy property? You betcha. Will a Texas Realtor make you an omelet with salsa fresca? Unlikely. But if you want more office space, need a property manager, want to buy a ranch, get a condo, upgrade, downsize, or exchange your duplex for a triplex, a Texas Realtor is the professional for you. Just make your own omelet, okay?
Whatever your real estate dream, a Texas Realtor can get you there. Find a Texas Realtor at texasrealestate.com.
Will a Texas Realtor help you negotiate your real estate deal? Absolutely. Is a Texas Realtor your best source for accurate real estate info? Unquestionably. Will a Texas Realtor show you how to fold an origami penguin? Probably not. But if you want to buy your first home, sell your ranch, get a lake house, lease a warehouse, move downtown, uptown, or out of town, a Texas Realtor is the professional for you. You're on your own with the penguin, though.
Whatever your real estate dream, a Texas Realtor can get you there. Find a Texas Realtor at texasrealestate.com.
Welcome back to NRG Stadium and our pregame coverage. Standing by now with head coach of the Manvel Mavericks, Kirk Martin. Coach, first off, congratulations on the victory last week in this building against Straight Jesuit. Talk about the big victory.
You know, our kids played real well and were focused and, you know, got out of here with a good win.
75 points. You haven't scored any less than 70 through your first 3 games of the postseason. Is this offense running at its highest level right now?
You know, we're clicking pretty good. You know, the one thing that's going good as well is our defense. You know, we've been getting some defensive points and special team points as well. So, you know, we've been playing pretty good together as a unit.
You have a tough opponent tonight. They've had to deal with some off-the-field issues. I'm sure that doesn't have any bearing on tonight's game. Your thoughts on playing the Tigers for a 3rd consecutive year?
You know, we were hoping for this, to be honest with you. You know, we really needed to, you know, get this monkey off our back, and our kids have prepared and are ready for the challenge, and you know, I wouldn't have wanted it any other way.
Did you at all consider having to prepare for Friendswood?
No, I didn't. I mean, you know, just kind of wait and see deal, but I didn't think for a second that Katy wouldn't be playing tonight. So you know, I did make one phone call to Coach Koopman and said, hey, you know, if this thing turns out to where it is us, and I'll talk to you at about 11 and we'll trade some film and get after it. But that's about all the time and energy that I spent, you know, thinking about them, you know. So you know, we've been ready to go for the Katy Tigers for quite a while.
Do you think there's any residual effect on their side from almost having this game taken away from them in terms of a distraction?
I don't have any idea. You know, all I can do is coach my guys. I don't have any idea what's going on, you know, at their place.
If the shoe were on the other foot, how do you think that your team would be affected, or how would they handle this?
I couldn't tell you. Never been in that situation before. I have no idea.
What concerns you about their offense, Coach, in that running game with those 2 running backs?
You know, they're really, really good. You know, they're great up front. You know, they got a bunch of Division I football players on both sides of the ball. You know, their line is huge, and you know, they've got blue chip running backs to hand it off to. You know, not just 1 or 2, but probably 3 that are big-time Division I running backs. They've got a great quarterback that'll go somewhere and play big-time football. You know, they've got lots and lots of talent, so they don't just run it. You know, they throw the football real well too, so they're very balanced, and they're going to present a lot of problems.
Do you think this is their best passing attack in the since you've seen them the last 2 years relative to what you saw on film so far?
I think it's their best football team, period. You know, I hadn't seen a better football team than this in a long time, you know, if ever. You know, they're really, really good on all sides of the ball, and you know, really great up front, really great at receiver, great at quarterback, and running backs as good as any in the country.
Outside of a few big runs last year for D'Eriq King, they seem to have his number in the game last year. What can you do differently maybe this year to try to get him a little more success when he makes the decisions to throw and to run?
You know, I think we've got a great plan. You know, we'll see if we can execute the plan and hang on to the football and not turn it over in special teams. You know, we gave up a special teams touchdown and turned it over in special teams last year. So, you know, you do those kind of things, it kind of puts you behind the 8 ball, and then you're having to take some shots that you wouldn't normally take. So hopefully we can keep it close and get some first downs and you know, execute the offense. I feel like we'll play better. I think we prepared better. I mean, you know, we've been here before. You know, the bigness of the game is not an issue at all. I think it was the first year. Hopefully this is our year.
What makes your team so good at takeaways? Because you are certainly on the plus side of the turnover margin.
We're just really aggressive. You know, our kids are really aggressive, and you know, when you're running to the football, good things happen. You know, somebody knocks it loose and somebody else picks it up. You know, it's just team effort. You know, getting to the football as a team. You know, 11 hats to the ball is what we preach, and hopefully we're going to have to do that tonight. So.
Reggie Hemphill Maps has 26 receptions, probably down from where he was at this point last year. Do you think defenses are trying to game plan more for him, which is allowing some of the other receivers like Hag, Dorn, Stokes, and Dykes to get a lot of touches this year?
I don't know. I just think we're really good at receiver, you know, all 4 positions. You know, all of those kids are going to college to play football, and you know, I just think it's more of a deal where we're balanced. You know, we don't just focus on one guy. You know, he spreads it around great and takes what they're giving him instead of focusing on one guy. So, you know, I don't think it's any fault of Reggie's or any grand scheme of defenses. I just think, you know, we've done a really good job of spreading it around.
Kicking game. I know last year you said special teams miscues and fumbles, but from the kicking game standpoint, with your place kicker and your punting, do you like where you're at right now?
Well, we're missing too many extra points. It's never an excuse to miss an extra point. Other than that, I like where we're at. We're doing great on kickoff coverage. We're doing great on punt returns and punt coverage and kickoff returns. We've had some touchdowns in those areas. So I like where we're at, except for, extra points. We can't afford to miss any extra points tonight.
If there's one aspect on the field tonight where this battle is going to be won and this game is going to be won, where's it going to be, Coach?
Turnovers. If we can get some turnovers and we can not have any, on our side, I think that'll be the difference in the game.
Thanks for taking the time to speak with this coach, and the best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Kirk Martin, the head coach of the Manvel Mavericks, will be back with more here from NRG Stadium, here on our pregame show, live on Texan Live.
It's time to get in the state of football. Do you want to be a Texas football legend? Well, sign up today for the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Legend subscription. You'll get a year's worth of great content, collectibles only from Dave Campbell's, and special access to Lone Star football experiences. What's more is all Texas Football Legend subscribers will get their name published in the next summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. This is a perfect gift for the football fanatic in your house. Become a Texas Football Legend today by subscribing at texasfootball.com.
Can a Texas Realtor help you sell your home? Of course. Is a Texas Realtor your go-to source to buy property? You betcha. Will a Texas Realtor make you an omelet with salsa fresca? Unlikely. But if you want more office space, need a property manager, want to buy a ranch, get a condo, upgrade, downsize, or exchange your duplex for a triplex, a Texas Realtor is the professional for you. Just make your own omelet, okay?
Whatever your real estate dream, a Texas Realtor can get you there. Find a Texas Realtor at texasrealestate.com.
Big Star Ford, Houston's fastest growing Ford dealer, year-end blowout. $15,000 off F-250s, $12,000 off F-150s, or 2015 F-150 only $339 a month. Free Yeti hoppers with every purchase. Huge discounts, best selection, most for your trade, low payments. Big Star Ford, big city discounts, small town dealing, 10 minutes south of downtown Houston off of 288. Shop BigStarFord.com. You drive, we listen.
Well, sometimes live radio, especially on the one of the bigger games of the year, sometimes technical difficulties plague you, of course unintentionally. So we lost our interview with Gary Joseph. We apologize for that. But Ken, one of the things he wanted to immediately mention about the situation over the last 48 hours or so was the great job the administration did and the character and class of Katy ISD Athletic Director Debbie Decker, who shouldered basically all of the responsibility and was willing to accept any penalty the UIL was going to hand down, including, if it got to it, a disqualification.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Katy handled the entire situation the way you hope that any program would handle the situation. They came forth once they realized that there was a problem, self-reported the infraction. Now, of course, a lot of teams, a lot of fans from different teams wonder if Katy may have gotten the benefit of the doubt. Well, you hope in these situations that sometimes it's not the letter of the law. Sometimes you have to use common sense and go by the spirit of the law. I think the UIL committee went by the spirit of the law. They took the common sense approach, which is what you want to happen not only in a situation like this, but in our courtrooms around the U.S. and things of that nature. You want people in powerful positions to take the common sense approach, and I think that's what happened in this situation. And you would hope that would be handled the same way down the line for other teams.
Debbie Decker said, and I quote, "I didn't want the kids to be punished for my mistake. A rule was broken, although not on purpose, but I knew there would have to be punishments for that, and I was hopeful that they wouldn't penalize the kids for an adult mistake." And that's exactly what happened with that three-person panel yesterday morning. Gary Joseph said, in respect to the player in question, when people ask, well, why did you play him to begin with, even though it was in mop-up duty? The kid, he said he wanted the kid who had been having a hard time away from the field of play to feel like part of the team and to make friends. So the best of intentions was never in doubt for this one player.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you do things and everyone makes mistakes. The kids make mistakes, adults make mistakes, coaches make mistakes, broadcasters make mistakes. So we have to learn from it. Katy's learned from it. And to Manvel's credit, Coach Kirk Martin said before the game, and you heard during his interview, he wouldn't have it any other way. He wanted his team, who's lost to Katy the last 2 years, to get this monkey off their back. Not only that they can compete with Katy, but they think they can win this football game here tonight.
Talking with Gary Joseph down on the field. Players are healthy, he said, and I quote, "This is probably the most healthy team he has at this point of the season."
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, they've had some injuries throughout the year to some key players. Linebacker Patty Fisher, who was huge in this game last year, spying D'Eriq King. He is now healthy and ready to go. Backup tailback Glass, he's healthy and ready to go. Both teams say they're the healthiest that they've been all season, which is a surprise going into the 14th game of the season. Usually you see a lot of players beat up, but these teams are healthy, so we should have an exciting ball game out here tonight.
Interesting take by Joseph when we asked him if he thought his team was playing its best football. He said if he played the same football he played last week, he probably wouldn't win the game tonight.
Well, yeah, it's a different opponent tonight. No disrespect to Friendswood, but I don't think they're on the athletic level of a Manvel team that's put up more than 70 points in each of the first 3 playoff games that they've had this season. One thing that everyone has to watch out tonight is the wide receivers for Manvel. They do not have a tight end on the roster. They run a complete spread attack. We saw Katy have problems in round 2 against Cy Ranch. Cy Ranch had 2 big receivers on the outside. They were able to expose the Katy secondary. I would look for Manvel to try to expose that secondary here tonight.
And talking about D'Eriq King, asked him, you were able to hold him pretty much in check last year, save for a few of the big runs, the big touchdown run, things of that nature. But by and large, they played him extremely well, better than anybody. And that's why they won 45-17 in this game last year. With that said, we asked him, do you have to do something different this year than you did last year? Because maybe that's what they're expecting you to do defensively. What other wrinkles would you employ to try to stop D'Eriq King? Maybe not stop him, but definitely limit him like you did last year.
Well, D'Eriq King does not run the football nearly as he did his first 2 years as the quarterback of Manvel. He's given most of those rushing responsibility to his senior tailback, Devon Penniman. Penniman on the season has averaged over 12 yards per carry, 1,552 yards on the season. D'Eriq King, who as a sophomore rushed for over 1,200 yards, this year as a senior has only rushed for 631 yards this year. He's more of a pocket passer. He still will get out and scramble, but he likes to throw from the pocket. He'd rather spread it out to his receivers than rush down the field.
Getting back to the situation with the UIL, talk about the leadership of a guy like Colin Wilder, who once he found out that Katy were not going to be penalized with a disqualification, he went out and hugged his teammates, but he told his teammates to stay off their phones and social media and to rest last night.
Well, that's what you expect from your senior leaders. I'm sure there were some anxious moments for those kids on Wednesday night as they waited for the decision to come down on Thursday morning. I'm sure there were some ancient moments in the classroom at Katy High School between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. on Thursday morning while the hearing was going on. But once 11 o'clock cleared, once they got the clearance to play, I'm sure these kids put all that behind them. They're ready to go play football.
Here's some quotes from Manvel players leading up to tonight's game. D'Eriq King says, I feel like we've been waiting for this game since we lost last year. It's been on our minds ever since then, so we are going to go out there and compete. We haven't played a really good game versus them yet. Our senior class, we played against them our sophomore year, and I feel this is our year to beat them. Hunter Hagdorn, we have had a bad taste in our mouth about that game last year. They sent us home early. We are just going to keep doing what we are doing, and we are on a roll right now. I think we are peaking at the right moment, so we just play our game, and I don't think anyone out here can play with us. Finally, Devon Penniman, we're just going to come out and be physical. They always say third time's the charm, and that could be our charm too. Is that bulletin board material?
No, that's real. That is real material right there. Manvel feels like they can win this football game tonight. They have the same feeling against Katy that Katy had against Cedar Hill. Cedar Hill defeated Katy the last 2 years in the state championship game. Katy had Cedar Hill circled on their calendar. Now Cedar Hill is out of the playoffs, so Katy doesn't have that target, doesn't have that chip that they did last year. Manvel still has the chip because the team that kept them from getting the chip is on the other side of the field wearing red and white tonight. So Manvel, they come in with a lot of swag, they come in with a lot of athleticism, they come in with a lot of confidence tonight that this is going to be a different year in 2015. But that is the Katy Tigers we're talking about on the far sideline in red and white.
A quotable from the Katy perspective, Patty Fisher on Manvel, the last 2 years are over with. This is a different year. Records don't mean anything. Stats don't mean anything.
Well, true statement. Now, stats mean a lot for us up here in the booth, but for those guys down on the field, it doesn't mean a whole lot. It's going to be the team that protects the football tonight. It's going to be the team that has excellent special teams play tonight, and it's going to be the team that can capitalize on field position tonight that's going to come out on top.
Coming up next as we continue on our pregame show here from NRG Stadium, Kenmore's keys to the game, and then we will have the opening kickoff to this state quarterfinal, the Class 6A Division II Region 3 Championship game, live here on Texan Live.
For Katy, we have number 5, Kyle Porter, 8, Giovanni Stewart, 9, Travis.
It's time to get in the state of football. If you can't live without your copies of the Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine while on the road, subscribe today to the digital versions of the Bible for Lone Star football fans. That's right, Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine has gone digital. Download our free app from the iTunes or Google Play Store today and subscribe. The digital subscriber to Dave Campbell's Texas Football will receive 10 exclusive editions a year, complete with extra video and audio features only found here. Within this subscription are the 6 digital-only in-season editions and exclusive recruiting edition, only available for digital readers. Or if you prefer, you can buy any one of the 10 annual digital magazines separately. Either way, get started today by downloading your free app and bring your Dave Campbell's Texas Football with you wherever you go.
Howdy, Eggs. Thanks for all your support this past year. Don't adjust your TV. In support of breast cancer awareness, West Point Buick GMC is donating a portion of every vehicle sale to the American Cancer Society. So if you want a new vehicle, come experience the spirit of Aggieland and help us beat the hell out of cancer too. West Point Buick GMC, easy to get to on the Katy Freeway, exit Barker Cypress both ways. West Point is just a better place to buy.
Buick GMC. A better place.
Come enjoy the heart of Katy, Texas, one of the most delightful cities in the Lone Star State. The best part? It's a short drive from Houston and minutes from the NRG corridor. With places to stay and places to play, anything you'd like to eat, and an old town charm that can't be beat. Activities and fun for the entire family. Enjoy the best of both worlds in the City of Champions, Katy, Texas. For more information, go to cityofkaty.com.
At Panera, we decided a long time ago to avoid the easy road and switch to antibiotic-free chicken. That decision set a lot of things in motion. So now it's not just chickens raised this way. It's more ingredients you can trust. Which has taught us a lesson. Sometimes, what you think is the harder road turns out to be the only one worth being on. Panera Bread. Live consciously. Eat deliciously.
Welcome back to NRG Stadium. Michael Silvers, Ken Moore with you as we get closer and closer to the opening kickoff of this Class 6A Division II Region 3 Championship game on Texan Live. Katy and Manvel, number 2 versus number 9. Katy's record, and we talked about this last week, Ken Moore, in their game against Friendswood. Inside this building is impeccable. 9-0 in the playoffs, overall 13-0, 2-0 in state semifinals, a state championship victory in 2008. Does that bother, or does Manvel take that into consideration? Is there any mental aspect from a Manvel standpoint, considering they've not beaten this team in 2 years?
There's no mental aspect at this point of the preparation. The mental aspect comes in if you make a mistake early. last week, Friendswood fumbled the opening kickoff. That set up Katy inside the red zone for a quick 7-zip lead. If something like that happens tonight to Manvel, that's when the doubt starts to creep into your mind. But for Manvel, they have to avoid those negative plays, especially early on in the first period, to keep their confidence high, to keep their confidence in the loudness of their fans loud as well.
Manvel are on the field, about to come out of their run-through. Katy yet to enter. Both teams and the coaches said the key to them, if there was one spot on the field of play where this game is going to be won, it's going to be turnovers. Both teams plus side on their turnover margin. Manvel a plus 14, Katy a plus 10.
Yeah, Manvel, they forced 31 turnovers on the season. Turnovers will be huge in this ball game tonight. Coach Kirk Morton called it one of the keys to the game. It's the key to any big game in any big football sport, whether it's Little League, whether it's high school, college, NFL. Whoever wins the turnover battle gives themselves an excellent chance to win the ball game.
What are your keys to victory tonight? What do these two teams need to do to move on to the state semifinals in a week's time?
Well, let's start with the 13-0 Katy Tigers out of 19-6A. They have to put pressure on the quarterback, De'Aaron King. They have to do that with the big defensive lineman, Corey Bethley. He leads the team with 14 sacks. They also going to have to defend the big wideouts, the speedy receivers for the Mavericks. They are led by Reggie Hemphill Maps and along with Sean Dykes. Dykes will work out of the slot. Hemphill Maps will work the outside. Katy will have to defend those big guys on the outside. They had problems with the Cy Ranch defenders in wide receivers in round 2. We'll see if they can control them tonight. On the other side for Manvel, field position will be key in this ball game. They cannot expect the Mavericks to go 70, 80 yards, and they cannot give the Katy Tigers short field position. And as we talked about, turnovers will be the biggest key of all. Manvel forced 31 on the season. They will need several more here tonight to pull the upset.
The Katy Tigers have made their way out to run through to take the field here at NRG Stadium for the second consecutive week. Who's going to come out first? Manvel in all blue, and here they come.
Mavericks come out. They are on the home side tonight. As you mentioned, in all blue, the white trim, the white numerals, the silver helmets with the big M on the side. Katy on the far side. They're the road team tonight. They will come out with the white jerseys, the red pants, the red numerals, the white helmets, the big Katy logo on the side, and here come the Tigers.
Same uniforms as they wore last week in the 66-0 victory over Friendswood. They'll wait for Joshua Chu to get a running start, throw him high up in the air, somersaulting back down onto the Katy players at the 38-yard line.
It's time to get in the state of football. If you can't live without your copies of the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine while on the road, subscribe today to the digital versions of the Bible for Lone Star football fans. Download our free app from the iTunes or Google Play Store today and subscribe. The digital subscriber to Dave Campbell's Texas Football will receive 10 exclusive editions a year, complete with extra video and audio features only found here. Download your free app today and bring your Dave Campbell's Texas Football with you wherever you go.
Will a Texas Realtor help you negotiate your real estate deal? Absolutely. Is a Texas Realtor your best source for accurate real estate info? Unquestionably. Will a Texas Realtor show you how to fold an origami penguin? Probably not. But if you want to buy your first home, sell your ranch, get a lake house, lease a warehouse, move downtown, uptown, or out of town, a Texas Realtor is the professional for you. You're on your own with the penguin, though.
Whatever your real estate dream, a Texas Realtor can get you there. Find a Texas Realtor at texasrealestate.com.
Big Star Ford, Houston's fastest growing Ford dealer, year-end blowout. $15,000 off F-250s, $12,000 off F-150s, or 2015 F-150 only $339 a month. Free Yeti hoppers with every purchase. Huge discounts, best selection, most for your trade, low payments. Big Star Ford, big city discounts, small town dealing, 10 minutes south of downtown Houston off of 288. Shop BigStarFord.com. You drive, we listen.
body is incredibly powerful. It's nimble and fluid. But sometimes we push it too far. That's when you need the strength of Memorial Hermann and our body of affiliated orthopedic specialists. With our Iron Man Sports Medicine Institute, they not only get your body back to where it was, they get it to go further. It's what makes us more than just hospitals. We are a body of experts. Memorial Hermann, advancing health.
Howdy, Eggs. Thanks for all your support this past year. Don't adjust your TV. In support of breast cancer awareness, West Point Buick GMC is donating a portion of every vehicle sale to the American Cancer Society. So if you want a new vehicle, come experience the spirit of Aggieland and help us beat the hell out of cancer too. West Point Buick GMC, easy to get to on the Katy Freeway. Exit Barker Cypress both ways. West Point is just a better place to buy.
Buick GMC, a better place to buy.
NRG Stadium, Region 3 championship game. Katy in white, red bottoms, red trim. White headgear with the Katy logo on either side, Manvel in all blue. Trimmed in white and red, silver helmets with the navy and red M on each side. They will have the end zone to our right, Katy to our left. The Mavericks will travel from right to left in this first quarter. They will have the ball to start this Region 3 championship game, and it's an offense that's averaging 638.3 yards in the postseason. For the season, 516.8 yards per game against the defense, allowing opponents in the playoffs 178 yards, and through the season, 152.2 yards per game.
Well, we have a fantastic crowd for this regional championship. It has the feel of a state championship game. Katy on the far side, Lower Bowl decked in red and white. Manvel on the home side, decked out in navy blue with a red trim.
Ball between the hashes on the 40. Alex Dupre will kick it off from 9 yards deep. Right-footed kicker and a high end-over-end pooch kick. Fair catch called, bobbled, and Katy have recovered. It looks like Katy have recovered. It was bobbled by an up man, number 49, Cam Scott. The Tigers, just like last week, recover a fumble on the opening kickoff, and their offense comes out first.
You have got to be kidding me. A fair catch called by Cam Scott, and he bobbled the opening kickoff just as Friendswood did last week. Katy will take over 1st and 10 at the Maverick 26.
Colton Walker with the recovery. So out comes the Katy Tiger offense, averaging 530 yards in the postseason against the defense, allowing opponents 483 yards. Garrett Doron, senior quarterback in his 3rd regional championship game. Surveys the defense under center with an I formation backfield, and on first down a handoff, Kyle Porter, and he is hit at the line of scrimmage. First one through, Brian Johnson from the linebacking core, loss of 1.
Sean Sims came in as well. It was a run off left tackle. Good penetration that time by the defensive front of Manvel. They run a 4-3 defense to try to slow down this Katy attack. Katy offensively this season averaging 455 yards of total offense.
Second down and 11 from the 27. Turning, handing it off. Porter with a full head of steam. Helmet comes flying. That's the left guard, Peyton Schrack, as Porter is down to about the 22-yard line, gaining 5 on the play. Tackle made by Tyler Fuller.
Katy, in their 13 games this season, they average 265 yards per game on the ground, nearly 190 through the air.
Third down, 6 from the Maverick 22. The Tigers between the hash marks, scrimmaging from left to right. Twin set to the left. Doron under center, 3-step drop, fires right side, make it the left side, and that is too tall for Tony Mullins. 3 and out for the Tiger offense.
And we got some flags over on the far sideline. Number 18, the wide out for Katy. And Gula getting into it with a couple of the defensive backs, and flags flying already.
Referee tonight is Bill Tilley. Emotions running high already.
Both of these teams amped up for this one. JC Angula, number 18 of Katy, on the far sideline, tangled up with a couple of the receivers. Referees now discussing it over near the 27-yard line.
Most of the offense, Kenmore, are still on the field for the Katy Tigers. Garrett Doran on the far side is playing catch with his backup, Rocky Emery.
He's maybe offsetting.
Only called on number 1, Deontay Anderson.
Anderson, a senior. You do not need that from your senior defensive back. So this will move the ball into the red zone. And Katy with 2 big breaks, Manvel with 2 big mistakes. A fumble on the kickoff that had stopped Katy on 3rd down. They commit a personal foul. Now Katy will have it 1st and 10, just outside the 10.
In the backfield, Williams and Porter. The receivers, Mullins, Angulo. The tight end, Eichenberger. Shannon, Schrack, Howerton, Lopez, Galvan up front. Lopez, a recent verbal commit to Stephen F. Austin. 1st down and 10 from the Maverick 11. Katy attacking left to right. Handoff, Porter right up the middle, across the 5, and tackled down at the 1-yard line. That's going to be enough for a 1st down. They may mark him just a yard shy at the 2. Well, tackle made, by Brian Johnson, the linebacker.
Well, a great lead block by number 43, Kyle Williams, as he was able to chop down one of the inside linebackers. Manvel on defense, they start 2 sophomores at linebacker. Trent Soreto, the inside linebacker, and Brian Johnson, the outside linebacker, joined by Jordan Camouche, the senior.
Wilder comes in on the offensive end. In motion from the backfield. Here's a pitch right. Porter makes a cut, and he's in for the touchdown. Capitalizing on the opening kickoff and the muff by Cam Scott. And then the Deontay Anderson personal foul after a 3rd down incompletion. The Tigers make the Mavericks pay. They have a 6-0 lead.
Well, you cannot make the type of mistakes that Manvel made to begin this ball game. The nerves, being a little too amped up, getting the best of the Mavericks here early in the 1st period.
Chris Perez connects on the extra point. 10-14 remaining 1st quarter. The Tigers strike first. They lead it 7-0 here on Texan Live.
Can a Texas Realtor help you sell your home? Of course. Is a Texas Realtor your go-to source to buy property? You betcha. Will a Texas Realtor make you an omelet with salsa fresca? Unlikely. But if you want more office space, need a property manager, want to buy a ranch, get a condo, upgrade, downsize, or exchange your duplex for a triplex, a Texas Realtor is the professional for you. Just make your own omelet, okay?
Whatever your real estate dream, a Texas Realtor can get you there. Find a Texas Realtor at texasrealestate.com.
Will a Texas Realtor help you negotiate your real estate deal? Absolutely. Is a Texas Realtor your best source for accurate real estate info? Unquestionably. Will a Texas Realtor show you how to fold an origami penguin? Probably not. But if you want to buy your first home, sell your ranch, get a lake house, lease a warehouse, move downtown, uptown, or out of town, a Texas Realtor is the professional for you. You're on your own with the penguin, though.
Whatever your real estate dream, a Texas Realtor can get you there. Find a Texas Realtor at texasrealestate.com.
Here's the kickoff, another pooch kick by Dupre. Taken at the 19-yard line, left side through a nice hole. Devon Penniman over the 45, outside the numbers at the 47-yard line. Cane Island drive summary, a 2-yard touchdown run by Kyle Porter. That is his 29th touchdown of the season, his 69th for his career, and the 6th for him in the postseason. Caps off a 5-play, 26-yard drive, 1:45 seconds off the clock. Perez adds the extra point. It's 7-0 with 10:08 remaining here in the 1st quarter. Tackle down on special teams, bringing down Penniman was DC Blades. And then a sideline warning taken by Katy as the Manvel Maverick offense out on the field for the first time, led by senior quarterback De'Eric King, Devon Penniman, the running back, Hemphill, Maps, Hagdorn, Stokes, Dykes, the receivers. Tanini is the center, Duncan and Nuora are the guards, Thomas and Myers are the tackles. King, quick pass left, complete. Hemphill maps, and he is gobbled up by Hunter Stinson at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go for number 5.
Manvel on the season offensively, averaging 516 yards per game, 246 on the ground, 270 through the air. They will run the spread 100% of the time.
4 receivers employed. Ball on the left hash, second down and 10 for the Mavericks. On the 47, Penniman out in motion from the backfield. Another pass this time. It's hauled in again by Hemphill Maps, but this time for positive yardage into the Katy's half of the field at the 49. 4 yards on the pass play. DC Blades on the coverage.
This is a Katy defense that only gives up 62 to 63 yards per game through the air. That defensive secondary is going to be tested this evening.
9.5 to play, quarter number 1, 7-0 Tigers. 3rd down and 6 for Manvel from the Tigers' 49-yard line, dropping the snap back. De'Aaron King, and he'll eat it for a 4-yard loss back to his own half of the field at the 48 at the left hash mark. And the Mavericks are going to have to punt it away. So 2-3 miscues already early by the Mavericks.
This is a team that is way too amped up for this ball game. Coach Kirk Morton is going to have to get his guys settled down. They're making too many mistakes early in this ball game against the Katy Tigers.
Out to punt it away is Dedrick Anderson. Had a punt last week of 75 yards. He boots this one down the field, and it bounces into the end zone.
52-yard punt, 32 on the net. No return, so Katy will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20.
Defensively for Manvel, up front Hassan Glasgow, Sean Sims, Tyler Fuller, Lance Bryant. In the linebacking core, Trent Serrato, Jordan Carmouche, Brian Johnson. In the secondary, the cornerbacks are Brandon Bell and Uriah Hudson, and the safeties Deontay Anderson and Derek Tucker. The D1 talent on both sides of the ball is simply staggering, but it's not anything that Katy concerns themselves with. As they attack from left to right, 1st down and 10. Doron under center. They'll scrimmage from their own 20. He rolls to his left, stops, pops, fires. Wide open across the 30, across the 40, and out to midfield. Jackson Borowski, a 30-yard hookup. Brandon Bell gobbles him up, but not after a 30-yard hookup.
Well, we haven't heard much from Jackson Borowski this season, so he surprises the Mavericks, capitalizing on a 30-yard catch and run, just an end cut, and then he takes it up the field another 15 yards after the catch. Katy on the mark.
Just his 7th reception of the season, came in 128 yards receiving. Mullins in motion on 1st down and 10 from the 50. Handoff, Porter breaks it to the outside, then slides back down into Maverick territory before he is chopped down by sophomore linebacker Brian Johnson, who came in with 55 tackles, had 6 tackles last week against Drake Jesuit.
Well, great job by Johnson coming up in run support. One thing you have to be wary of, you won't see it early on in the ball game, but you know at some point Katy's going to use that play action pass. At some point they're going to come up with a couple of trick plays as well.
2nd down and 8 from the Maverick 48. 3 receivers employed. Williams in a wing to the left, and on the delay to the outside right, it's Porter trying to turn the corner, lowers his shoulder, and he is hit on the play by Brandon Bell at the Manvel 42-yard line, galloping for 6 more yards. It'll be 3rd down and a long 2.
Kyle Porter on the season, one of the leading rushers in the area, over 1,000 yards once again this season.
To the wide side of the field, split left, Borowski. Trey Turner in as a wing left. Eichenberger tight end to the right on 3rd down and 2 from the Manvel 42. The Tigers with a 7-0 lead. Here's another pitch to Porter. Breaks a tackle, has enough for a 1st down, and then he is gain tackled inside the 40 at the Manvel 38-yard line. Leading the way, Sean Sims, number 9, senior defensive tackle with 37 tackles coming in and 5 sacks.
Katy trying to see what this Manvel defensive front is made of. They are running right at the Mavericks so far in this first period, and they're picking up some huge chunks of yardage.
And Gulo will line up to the wide side left in a slot left Mullins. 1st down and 10 from the Manvel 38-yard line, I formation. Doron looks over the defense, takes the snap, turns, and on the play fake, he's going to rifle one over the middle. It is dropped by Angulo. coverage by Urian Hudson, who leads the team in pass breakups, but he didn't have to break up a pass there. Angulo simply dropped it.
Well, the defensive backs for Manvel given a lot of cushion on the outside. We saw Borowski with a big pass play early in this drive. That would have been another one to Angulo, but he just dropped it.
Second down and 10 from the 38. 7-0 Tigers. They scrimmage from left to right. Ball on the right hash mark. DeAndre Glass checks in as a receiver, and he'll get a pitch in motion. And he turns the corner across the 35 and down to the 30. That's a rumble of about 7 to 8 yards. He's collared on the play by Alex Vega.
That's something new we haven't seen from Katy much. Glass lines up on the right side, comes in motion from left to right. Just a toss sweep, cuts it up inside. Chopped down after an 8-yard gain. Ball sits on the far left hash, 3rd and 2. We'll see if the Mavericks can come up with a big defensive stop.
Glass came in 471 rushing yards in the playoffs and 9 touchdowns. 9 of his 14 this season have come in postseason play. 3rd down and 2. Handoff straight ahead. Porter with a first down and more across the 20 to the outside 15, 10, 5, touchdown. 30 yards, and Porter scores for the second time here in the first quarter.
Out of the I formation, Porter once again over the right side behind his lead blocker, 43 Kyle Williams, and once he gets into the secondary, none of the Maverick defenders are big enough to bring down Kyle Porter as he just rumbles over people inside the 5 and into the end zone. Katy up by 2 scores.
Snap, Jonathan Letter, a Chris Rubio Award semifinalist. The kick by Perez and end over end one that splits the uprights. It is 14-0. And we'll keep it right here as we kind of catch our breath. And we will mention that Texan Live is your new home for Houston High School sports. The road to state continues tomorrow with a pair of games at TexanLive.com. At 1, Dickinson and North Shore square off in a regional final, while at 3, it's Atascocita and Austin Westlake. They face off with a trip to the state semifinals on the line. Go to our website, TexanLive.com, for all the details. And Ken Moore, so far, it's been all Katy. They've capitalized on miscues, and they find themselves enjoying a 14-point lead, and Manvel be imperative to get some points on this next drive.
It looks like we've seen this story before, my friend. Last week against Friendswood, Katy was able to jump out to a quick 14-zip lead after Friendswood fumbled the opening kickoff. Manvel did the same here tonight. Second possession, the Mavericks able to complete a couple of passes, but on 3rd down, the quarterback, De'Aaron King, fumbles the snap. They have to punt it away. Katy promptly goes on an 80-yard drive. 7 plays took 2, 53 off the clock. The Tigers on front early, 14-zip.
Here's a Cane Island drive summary. 30-yard touchdown run by Kyle Porter, his second touchdown of the quarter. Caps off a 7-play, 80-yard drive, 2 minutes, 53 seconds, the time of the drive. Perez knocks through his second extra point, 5:58 remaining in the first quarter. 14-0 Tigers. And Ken, dating back to the game they played in 2013, Katy have scored on 17 of their 25 possessions since that game in 2013 against Manvel.
Well, when you give the Tigers a short field, as the Mavericks did on their first possession, it really gives the Tigers confidence to put together an 80-yard drive like we just saw on their second possession.
Here's Chris Perez. Low line drive kick. It bounces over the 20, across the 10, and it'll be taken upfield between the hashes by Jalen Preston. Takes it to the outside and is dragged down from behind at the 22-yard line by Keegan Oddie. So now the Manvel Mavericks, trailing by 14 with 5:50 left in the first quarter, will matriculate from right to left and try to get points on the board as they trail by 14.
Well, this is a huge offensive series for the Mavericks, maybe one of the biggest ones in the ball game. Now you are forced to make some plays offensively, move down the field. Coach Morton huddling up with his offense, empowering them, encouraging them, giving them confidence. Don't get down by being down 14-zip. Mentally, stay physically well in tune into the ball game.
King came into this game 2,723 yards, 42 touchdowns passing, 4 interceptions. Hands it off, and Devon Penamon is tackled at the 24-yard line. Galloping for 2 yards, Giovanni Stewart leading the way, senior in the linebacking core with his 74th tackle of the season. Pinamon gains 2.
Well, this has been a breakout season for Pinamon. Over 1,500 yards on the ground this season, 23 touchdowns, averages nearly 13 yards every time he touches the rock.
And a pre-snap flag. The Mavericks will be charged for starting early. Called on Mackenzie Nuora, the junior guard. Last week, Manvel penalized 5 times for 50 yards. Drops them back inside their own 20. They'll scrimmage between the hash marks, right to left from their own 19. 3 receivers employed, 2 in the backfield. Play fake to Pinnaman, and it's King straight ahead, and he goes nowhere. He gains a yard to the 20. The Tigers were not fooled. Leading the way, Patty Fisher, number 42, a Northwestern pledge, had 5 tackles last week against Friendswood. That's his 54th tackle of the season.
Well, as we mentioned in the open, De'Eric King doesn't do as much rushing as he's done in the past. Only 631 yards on the ground this year for the senior quarterback.
3rd and 12, pass left, inaccurately thrown. Trying to find Hemp Hill maps. Could not connect with his target. And another 3 and out by the Manvel offense. The Tigers hold. They'll get it back with good field position as they await a punt forthcoming from Diedrich Anderson.
Well, the Mavericks, you see a little frustration starting to set in over here on the near sideline. It's going to be Coach Kurt Martin's hardest job to date to try to keep this team positive through this early onslaught by Katy.
Big kick, drives Wilder back, who had a 67-yard punt return for a touchdown last week, and he can have another one. Left side across the 30, 20, 15, and out of bounds. They will spot him around the 13-yard line.
Well, this punt return unit is one of the best that you'll ever see. They set up the wall to the left side. He cuts it up the middle as soon as he receives the punt, does Wilder, breaks it to the outside where the wall is set up. He got an excellent block from Austin Vargas, and now Katy once again set up inside the Manvel red zone, 1st and 10 at the 15.
42-yard return for Wilder. 1st and 10. Motion man Angulo left to right. Smacks Doron on his left hip. Turning, handing it off Porter right up the hash marks. Down inside the 10. Taken down at the 7. That's an 8-yard run. He's gobbled up by Brian Johnson, who's had to make a handful of tackles already here in the first quarter.
I tell you what, Lance Bryant, defensive tackle for Manvel, is really getting pushed off the line of scrimmage on the left side of that defensive line. Katy running behind the right side of theirs. They're finding some huge yardage and another big play on 1st down.
Inside 4:20 remaining, quarter number 1, 14-0 Katy, and after a great return on a punt by Colin Wilder, they have it 2nd down and 2 inside the 10. Doron takes the snap, play fakes, rolls to his right, and throws, and it is complete. He rolled to his left, I beg your pardon. The pass hauled in at the 2-yard line. Tackle made by Urian Hudson as Kyle Williams on the receiving end of that Garrett Doron pass.
Yeah, just a little play fake that time. They go to the left side. They fake the run out of the I formation, and the fullback Williams slips into the flat. Nice throw by Doron, getting it low and outside. He's able to turn it up. 1st and goal, Tigers.
From the left hash mark on the 2, I formation backfield. Doron studies the defense, takes the pitch, hands it off, and it is Porter. Touchdown. This 3rd of the quarter.
Too easy for Katy right now. Way too easy in this one. Again, simple toss to the right side. This time leading the way up through is the fullback Trey Turner, the backup. He gets the kick out block on the cornerback Brandon Bell, and Porter walks in for 6 more.
Perez out for point after try number 3 of the quarter. Hayden Baker will hold. Letter with the snap. The kick on the way. End over end. It is good, but we will pause because we have a flag down. Looks like the extra point will stand. So let's step aside. 3:58 remaining in the first quarter. 21-0 Tigers here on Texan Live.
Big Star Ford, Houston's fastest growing Ford dealer, year-end blowout. $15,000 off F-250s, $12,000 off F-150s, or 2015 F-150 only $339 a month. Free Yeti hoppers with every purchase. Huge discounts, best selection, most for your trade, low payments. Big Star Ford, big city discounts, small town dealing, 10 minutes south of downtown Houston off of 288. Shop BigStarFord.com. You drive, we listen.
At Panera, we decided a long time ago to avoid the easy road and switch to antibiotic-free chicken. That decision set a lot of things in motion. So now it's not just chickens raised this way. It's more ingredients you can trust. Which has taught us a lesson. Sometimes, what you think is the harder road turns out to be the only one worth being on. Panera Bread. Live consciously. Eat deliciously.
Cane Island Drive summary, a third touchdown run by Kyle Porter. This from 2 yards out, paced by a 47-yard punt return by Colin Wilder. 3 plays, 15 yards, a 40-second time on that possession. 3:58 remaining here in the first quarter. It is 21-0 Katy and Ken. You have some stats from here inside, about just outside the first 8 minutes of this game.
Yeah, looking at the numbers, I mean, it's every bit as the 21 zip score would permeate. Katy with 110 yards of total offense, 7 first downs. Manvel, 4 yards of total offense, 0 first down, 0 yards on the ground for Manvel early on in this ball game.
And they were penalized 15 yards on that extra point. So Chris Perez has the ball teed up on the Manvel 45. I would assume he would just boot it out of the back of the end zone and force the Mavericks to start on their own 25, but we'll see. Right-footed kicker, and that's exactly what he'll do with an end-over-end kick. He'll split the uprights. Why not?
All going Katy's way so far tonight at NRG. And to make matters worse for Manvel, 3 penalties here in the first period for a total of 33 yards.
Let's run down the Katy defense. Bethley, Woodring, and Matus up front. Stewart, Boyd, Fisher, and Stinson are the linebackers. In the secondary, DC Blades and JR Blades are the starting cornerbacks, while Colin Wilder and Travis Willock are back deep as safeties.
Well, we hope that Manvel can settle down. They have to come out with their same game plan. They have to, if they can, ignore the scoreboard right now at 21 zip. Still a long way to go. All they need is a big play offensively to try to get some momentum in this football game, but they're going to need their quarterback, De'Aaron King, to be on point on this drive.
Motion man, play fake to him, and King able to slice over the 30-yard line left side to the 32, gaining 7 before he's gobbled up by Andrew Einerson.
King over the previous 2 seasons as a sophomore in 2013, he rushed for 1,290 yards. As a junior last year, 822. This year as a senior, 615.
This time he gives it to Penniman, and he is tackled out in the open field by Braden Boyd, junior middle linebacker, 51st tackle of the season. Had 3 tackles and a sack last week against Cy Ranch. Travis Willock also slashing in to make the tackle.
Big third down coming up for the Mavericks.
They're 0 for 2 so far. Pass left, complete. Hemphill Maps can't turn away from JR Blades, but the pass is complete at the 38 for 4 yards. A third down conversion and the first down of the game for the Manvel Mavericks.
You see the Mavericks now going to the short passing game so far in this first period. They feel they can use that as a supplement to their running game.
King on the zone read, straight ahead to the 41-yard line. Dropped on the play by Giovanni Stewart.
And another reason that Manvel is trying to implement the short passing game is to negate that big pass rush of Katy. The quicker that King can release the football, the less hits he will have to take.
2:45 remaining, quarter number 1, handoff right up the gut. The Katy Tigers seal it off right into the teeth of the defense. Devon Penniman gets right back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 8 as Braden Boyd crashes in to lead the way.
Well, this is a Katy defense that's very tough to run against. They only give up 89 yards per game on the ground, This going up against a Manvel offense that averages 246 on the ground. Something has to give tonight.
3rd and 8. King fires up the seam, complete, and Hip Hill Maps makes one man miss, and he is tackled inside the 30-yard line from behind. A big 3rd down play as Colin Wilder makes the tackle at the 28-yard line.
Well, you saw him set that up earlier. They were throwing the short passes to Hip Hill Maps. That was time. It was a pump and go. He fakes the short pass, goes upfield for the big gain and the 1st down.
39 yard, make it 31 yards on the hookup. Back on the ground. And Devon Penamon can only muster back to the line of scrimmage. They may give him a yard to the 27. Penamon on the season, 1,552 yards, 23 touchdowns, over 660 yards here in the postseason. King, design run outside the hash marks. He's tackled by Braden Boyd short of the 25-yard line, a gain of a yard. It's going to be 3rd down and 7. Another 3rd down in this series. They're 2 for 2 so far.
They want to stay out of these 3rd and longs. Let's see if Katy dials up a blitz.
King will throw on 3rd down and 7. Launches over the middle, hauled in. At the 11-yard line, Keegan Oddie brings down Sean Dykes, his first catch of the day, his 35th for the season.
15 yards on the reception. That time, De'Aaron King rolled out to the left, didn't have a place to run, threw it downfield, and here they come again. Penniman up the middle. He's into the end zone for 6.
What a response after spotting the Tigers. 21 points. Devon Penamon races into the end zone for his 24th touchdown of the season. This from 11 yards out.
And that fast break offense of Manvel, we saw it at its best on that drive. The quick pass plays, the runs up the middle, the quarterback draws, and then Penniman takes it in for the score.
Enos Sefa to tack on the extra point. You heard Kirk Martin say his team has been pretty lackluster kicking extra points this season. This will cut the lead to 14. Kick on the way, end over end, and it is good. So the Katy Tigers lead is cut to 14. After scoring the game's first 3 touchdowns, the Mavericks respond, and they really needed it, and they got it.
Well, a great job of mixing the pass plays and the running plays. They were finally able to not have any penalties on this drive, no miscues with bad snaps, able to get the quick pass plays out to Hip Hill Maps. Then they went down deep to him on a up and out. And then you saw the inside route come, and then the quick hitter up the middle to Devon Penniman for the touchdown, his 24th of the season.
Penniman had 210 yards on 8 carries and 3 touchdowns last week in the win over Straight Jesuit. 5 carries right now, 17 yards, and the 11-yard touchdown. Tigers will get it back in probably their worst field position of this first quarter with 1:05 remaining. That was a 10-play, 75-yard drive for the Manvel Mavericks to respond after the Tigers scored the game's first 21 points. The time of the possession, 2 minutes, 53 seconds. That your Cane Island drive summary. Here's the kickoff by Alexis Lopez, taken at the 6-yard line, across the 15, across the 25, out across the 30 to the 31. Tony Mullins races up the left hash mark. And good, solid field position for the Tiger offense.
Now we saw the Maverick offense respond on that last possession. Let's see if the Manvel defense can try to slow down this Katy offensive attack.
59 seconds remaining. Quarter number 1, 21-7 Tigers. They will scrimmage left to right, ball on the left hash from their own 30-yard line. Mullins and Borowski to the wide side right, Borowski in a slot. Porter in as the deep man, the fullback is Williams. Doron, play action pass. Pulls it down and fires across the middle, it's incomplete. Targeting Tony Mullins. Brandon Bell supplying the coverage, a commit to New Mexico State. 6 pass breakups this season for the senior in the secondary at 2nd down.
Well, good protection that time by the offensive line. Doron, the first receiver he was looking at was Borowski. He was covered, came back to his secondary option, which was Mullins. Pass dropped near midfield, 2nd down 10.
Doron with 55 touchdown throws in his career at Katy High School. studies the defense on 2nd down and 10 from the 30. Pitch to Porter. That one did not look so good coming out of Garrett Doron's hands, and Porter is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Hassan Glasgow makes the tackle. He is a Houston Cougar commit. They've got an important game tomorrow, don't they?
Oh, wow, for the championship over at the deck, 11 a.m. It's going to be a good one.
3rd down and 10. The Tigers 2 for 3 on 3rd downs in the first quarter. Clock rolling, 23 seconds to go. First quarter, they lead it 21-7. Porter behind Doron out of the shotgun. 3 receivers employed. Snap back to number 12. Looks. Under pressure. Escapes. Put his hands on the turf. Escapes again. Another sack. And this time he is thrown down back inside the 15-yard line. Numbers game kept up. And DePriest Taylor, the sophomore linebacker, threw Doron down at the 14-yard line.
And he threw him down hard. Doron escaped the pressure from number 92, Lance Bryant. Escaped Bryant twice, but finally body slammed to the ground by DePriest Taylor. 15-yard sack. Is going to be 4th down, as that will end the first period.
Into the first quarter, 21-7, Katy. This is the Region 3 championship game on Texan Live.
Download the new Fox Sports Southwest Football Friday app. Connect and get live scores statewide. Find games near you. Plus, get your photos on our Friday night show. This is the one app that can handle high school football in Texas. Hit the App Store and type Football Friday. Friday high school football isn't over till you watch High School Scoreboard live. Final scores, big plays, plus the DQ Big Game of the Week.
Be a part of the most watched high school football show in Texas.
Friday on Fox Sports Southwest.
Only one network is big enough to cover the great state of Texas, and only one show travels across the state to get the skinny on high school sports every week, all year long. You want the best in high school sports? Catch High School Spotlight on Fox Sports Southwest.
Michael Vasquez out for punt number 1. He re-enters the lineup after being out for a few games due to ineligibility. First time the Maverick defense forced the Tigers to punt it away. There's 2 back in their own half of the field for the Mavericks. And Vasquez with an end-over-end kick, fielded at the 49-yard line, across the 40, outside the numbers right side. Uriah Hudson down to the Tiger 35-yard line. Jonathan Letter, the deep snapper, with the tackle upfield.
A 14-yard return, best field position of the night for the Manvel Mavericks. And they were able to flip the field position. Now they will start on Katy's side of the 50 for the first time tonight at the 35.
35-yard punt by Vasquez. Came into this game averaging 37.8 yards a kick. The Mavericks from left to right, pass to this side of the field, the right side complete. Patty Fisher brings down Hemp Hill Maps. DC Blades also there. It's a 5-yard reception to the future Texas Longhorn.
Well, Maps just taking advantage of the cushion given to him by DC Blades over here on the near side. Picks up a quick 5.
King pump fakes. Pump fakes again. Passes again to the right side. Complete. Penniman to the 27-yard line. Good for 3. It's 3rd down and 2.
This time Penniman is the secondary receiver. He wanted to go to Maps deep on a corner route. It was covered well. He went to his safety valve. Penniman picks up 3. 3rd down. Let's see if they go to the quarterback draw.
5 straight completed passes thrown by De'Aaron King. 3rd down and 2 from the Tiger 27. Penniman in the backfield with them, offset to the right of De'Aaron King. 4 receivers employed. Hand off Penniman. He's got a lane across the 20, 15, and taken down at the 12-yard line. Colin Wilder makes the tackle after a run of 15.
But that time they went to their big horse, Penniman, up the middle. He runs over the right side, drags Wilder for an additional 5 yards after contact. And now The Mavs set up inside the red zone on the right hash, 1st and 10, and looks like we're going to have a timeout.
Tigers take their first timeout of the game, 11-12 left in quarter number 2, 21-7 Manvel. This is Texan Live.
It's time to get in the state of football. Do you want to be a Texas football legend? Well, sign up today for the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Legend subscription. You'll get a year's worth of great content, collectibles only from Dave Campbell's, and special access to Lone Star football experiences. What's more is all Texas Football Legend subscribers will get their name published in the next summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. This is a perfect gift for the football fanatic in your house. Become a Texas football legend today by subscribing at texasfootball.com.
Can a Texas Realtor help you sell your home? Of course. Is a Texas Realtor your go-to source to buy property? You betcha. Will a Texas Realtor make you an omelet with salsa fresca? Unlikely. But if you want more office space, need a property manager, want to buy a ranch, get a condo, upgrade, downsize, or exchange your duplex for a triplex, a Texas Realtor is the professional for you. Just make your own omelet, okay?
Whatever your real estate dream, a Texas Realtor can get you there. Find a Texas Realtor at texasrealestate.com.
First down and 10, direct run right side, King. And he is hit hard at the 10-yard line by Patty Fisher. The Northwestern pledge who spied on King all throughout last year's regional championship game. 53 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles this season for the senior inside linebacker. King is stopped for a gain of 2.
Well, Patty Fisher and De'Aaron King know each other very well, going head-to-head in that regional championship last year. Patty Fisher was the personal spy for De'Aaron King and held him in check last season in this ball game.
Snap back to King on 2nd down. Pocket collapses. King taken down at the 10. Give him a half yard. Michael Matus, sophomore defensive lineman, 4 tackles and a sack last week against Friendswood, drops King after maybe half a yard picked up.
Great job by the Katy defense keeping King inside the pocket. He had a lot of room outside to the left, but they set the edges, did not let him get outside. Another big 3rd down for the Mavs.
3rd and 8, King fires over the middle, and it's just off the fingertips of an outstretched Sean Dykes. Coverage by Travis Willock. So a decision here by Kirk Martin, his offensive coordinator Larry McCray, a finalist for Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine Assistant Coach of the Year. And they're going to send the field goal unit out to attempt a 27-yard field goal.
Yeah, Enos Sinfa, he will be kicking from the right hash. Now we saw him in warm-ups. He was struggling from everywhere on the field in warm-ups. This will be a 27-yard attempt from the right hash. Let's see if he can connect.
The holder is Hemphill. Matt's kick is on the way. Endovering kick, and it is good. So the lead now cut to 21-10 as we want to break it here with 9:58 left in the 2nd quarter. 21-10 Katy here on Texan Live.
Big Star Ford, Houston's fastest growing Ford dealer, year-end blowout. $15,000 off F-250s, $12,000 off F-150s, or 2015 F-150 only $339 a month. Free Yeti hoppers with every purchase. Huge discounts, best selection, most for your trade, low payments. Big Star Ford, big city discounts, small town dealing, 10 minutes south of downtown Houston off of 288. Shop BigStarFord.com. You drive, we listen.
High school football playoffs continue next week, and Texan Live is your home for the postseason. Get your tickets to the state championships held at NRG Stadium in Houston by following the UIL link on TexanLive.com. Then follow your team on the road to state at the home for Houston High School sports. TexanLive.com. 27-yard field goal by Enos Sefa. 7 plays, 25-yard drive, 1:52 off the clock. After scoring the first 21 points of the game, the Katy Tigers now lead at 21-10 as Manvel have scored the last 10. And here's the kickoff by Alexis Lopez. Mullins from the 5, angling back between the hash marks, and he bounces off a tackle, but only briefly. Down on special teams, Sam Smith. The Tigers will start from their own 15-yard line, leading 21-10 with 9:52 remaining until halftime.
But Manvel was able to force a 3-and-out on the last series by the Katy Tigers. This time the Mavericks have them pinned back to begin at their own 15-yard line. Let's see if their defense can come up with another big stop. Looks like they're going to actually mark him out at the 16-yard line to begin this possession.
From right to left, 9:52, ball just inside the left hash mark. Doron under center looks over the defense and pitches, and straight ahead it is Porter, and he is stopped. Jordan Carmouche crashes in to make the tackle. It's a loss of 1 on the play, back to the 15.
Well, big play by Carmouche from his left outside linebacker position, comes up and lays the wood to Porter on that one, drops him for a 1-yard loss.
2nd down and 11. Porter with all 3 of the Tiger touchdowns that came in the first quarter. He is a U.S. Army All-American Game selection. Kingwood Shewo Alanalua also given that distinction earlier this week. On 2nd down and 11, keep it on the ground. Porter tries to bounce it to the outside, and he cannot escape. Brian Johnson with a big tackle inside the 15, another loss of a yard.
Now you see this Maverick defense starting to play with some confidence. We'll see what Katy and Coach Joseph Dowell up here on 3rd and long. Maverick crowd over here on the home side rising in unison as one. They want another big play from their defense.
Twin set left with Mullins and Borowski. I formation on 3rd down and 12 for the Tigers on their own 14. Screen pass complete. Mullins, middle of the field, spins over the 15, but gets back to the original line of scrimmage as Brian Johnson again. How about the performance thus far defensively by Brian Johnson of the Manvel Mavericks?
Well, Johnson has been tremendous so far. One-on-one in the open field. Very few can bring down Tony Mullins. Johnson does it that time with the tackle. Came into tonight one of the leading tacklers on the ball club with 55.
Anderson, Hudson stand at their own 45 and 46-yard line respectively. Vasquez will field this punt snap at his own 2. Gets a good snap from Jonathan Letter. End over end kick. Hudson has to let it bounce. It takes a sideways bounce and is downed at the Maverick 47-yard line by DC Blades. That is a 37-yard kick.
So 2 consecutive 3-and-outs for the Manvel defense. They have finally settled down in the ball game. Total yards right now, Manvel actually has the edge, 104 to 95.
When was the last time you could say that about a Katy game? Long way from being over, 7:48 left in the second quarter. 21-10 Mavericks trailing the Tigers with a chance to cut into this lead even better. They begin with a spread formation, ball on the right hash. Penniman off the right shoulder of Derek King. Hunter Hagdorn in motion, sliding from right to left. And a handoff, Penniman, he's in trouble outside left. And he is stopped for a yard. He's going to be stopped at the 45. That's a loss of 3. Giovanni Stewart leading the way defensively for the Tigers. It's a loss of 3.
Great job by Stewart, the right defensive end, getting outside, setting the edge. He had the initial contact against Penniman. Didn't bring him down, but he slowed him enough for Travis Willock and the rest of his teammates to get there. 3-yard loss for the Mavericks. 2nd down, 13.
From their own 45, studying the defense, King gets the snap back, drops it left side in the flats to Penniman. He gets back to the line of scrimmage as he is chopped down by J.R. Blades. Came in with 17 tackles and an interception, had 4 tackles in the Cy Ranch game 2 weeks ago. 3rd down and 9 after a 4-yard pass play.
Haven't heard much from number 7, Corey Bethy, this afternoon. Here he comes now.
King, left side, and that is caught. J.R. Blades, the cover man. The pass hauled in by Sean Dykes. That's his second reception of the game, and they will mark him at the first down marker. It's going to be good enough for a first down on a 9-yard reception.
Good job by Dykes coming back for the football, but he nearly came back too far and lost the first down. He was able to step out of bounds right at the yard marker on the far side. 1st and 10 Mavs at the 42.
Mavericks are 5 for 8 on third downs. Handoff. Penniman runs into Hunter Stinson at the 37-yard line, a 5-yard carry. Travis Willock also there to bring down number 21.
See a lot more patience right now out of the Mavericks. They've slowed the pace just a bit. Still going at tempo. Want to make sure they don't have any mistakes.
6:20 remaining in the second quarter. 21-10 Katy. King in trouble, scrambles, waggles to his left, and then he loses the football as he tried to throw it away, and Corey Beffley, just mentioned his name, having not made much of an impact. He recovers the football. There's a flag down at the 48-yard line in Katy's half of the field. The officials rule it is indeed a fumble, and Katy have recovered, but we'll check the penalty marker.
Well, King rolling out to his right, trying to throw the football away. It just slips out of his hands, and Beffley, Johnny on the spot, falls on it at the Katy 48, but let's check the penalty.
The Maverick offense remain on the field as the officials talk things over.
Katy defense has left the field. They feel like it's against the Mavericks.
Kirk Martin is yelling at our referee, Bill Tilley. So another sideline warning that turns into a 5-yard penalty. Katy get the ball back after the turnover on the fumble by De'Eric King.
Wow.
And they will have it to begin this possession right to left hash mark on their own 47-yard line. They've been able to cash in on all of the Mavericks' miscues so far. 6:12 remaining until halftime. The Tigers have a 21-10 lead. Porter will begin as the lone setback with a wing right Williams and a twin set to the wide side right. Doron takes the snap, delays, hands it off. Porter straight ahead, lowers his shoulder and lays some lumber into Urian Hudson. Officials come crashing in. Helmet comes flying off center Cole Shannon. It's a run of 6 yards as Shannon has to check out.
Well, what a lick laid by Porter as he lowered his shoulder right into the cornerback, Urian Hudson. Hudson not used to taking those kind of shots as a defensive back.
Line of scrimmage, the 47 in Maverick territory, 2nd down and 4. The Tigers have gone 3 and out in their last 2 offensive possessions.
We've seen a lot of Jackson Borowski in the slot this afternoon instead of Angulo.
Pitch outside right, Porter, chopped down at the line of scrimmage. Brian Johnson again making a defensive impact. So now it's 3rd down and a long 4 from the 47-yard line for the Tigers as we roll inside 5.5 to play in the second quarter. The Tigers lead it 21-10.
Great job by Johnson that time, going underneath the attempted block of the fullback Williams, avoided Williams, able to get through on Porter, stopping for no gain.
3rd and 4 from the 47 in Maverick territory. Mullins in motion right to left. Doron looks over the defense, waggles to his left, stops, airs it out left side, complete to Mullins, out of bounds at the 40. And we've got flags thrown on this side of the field. Is it going to be an offensive pass interference or defense?
Absolutely offensive. It was an illegal pick by Borowski. He was actually blocking downfield before Mullins caught the football. This one's coming back. At least it should be.
Bill Tilley learning things right now at the 47-yard line. He'll announce it to the attending crowd here at NRG. Big penalty on Borowski, which nullifies a 3rd down conversion and drops the Tigers back in their own half of the field. We'll see where the new line of scrimmage will be set. It's a 15-yard penalty. It's going to be 3rd down and forever. And not a lot of plays in the playbook for 3rd down and forever.
Electric Katy, this is a spot on the field where they normally come up with some type of trickeration. They may want to save their tricks for later in this ball game, but don't be surprised if they pull something out of the hat here. It's going to be 3rd and 19 at their own 38.
Doron, modified pistol look, gets the snap back, drops it underneath Porter. He's immediately in trouble, turns and goes backwards, and that was well scouted from the get-go by Jordan Carmouche, and the Maverick defense a loss back to the 30-yard line.
Well, Carmouche, he's the leading tackler for the Mavericks, came in with 58 on the season, drops Porter for an 8-yard loss, and they're going to need to get to Pearland for a first down.
Michael Vasquez out for his 3rd consecutive punt. The Tigers will snap it at the 30. At one point, they had it in Manvel territory. Snap back to Vasquez. Delivers the punt that is sky high. Fair catch made. A tough catch for Urian Hudson at the 31-yard line. 39-yard kick by Vasquez. And that stops the clock with 4:07 left in quarter number 2. A 21-10 Katy lead, but the Mavericks have another chance to cut into the lead.
And for those of you just joining us, Katy jumped out to a quick 21-zip lead in this one as Manvel, like Friendswood last week, fumbled the opening kickoff. But once the Mavericks settled down, they've been able to put up 10 consecutive points. They had another turnover on their previous possession. Now they take over 1st and 10 at the 30.
King, screen pass, right side, Penniman. Rumbles over the 35-yard line, angled out at the 36 for a 5-yard pass play. Patty Fisher leading the way defensively for the Tigers.
They're going to officially start this drive at the 31, so give him 5 on the pass play. 2nd down. Manvel, 4:01 to go here before halftime. They have all 3 timeouts remaining.
King 9 of 12, 79 yards in the first half. 2nd down and 5 from the 35. King on the zone read, keeps it, can't get much yardage. Positive yards to the 38, a gain of 2. Dropped by Braden Boyd. It's 3rd down and 3 coming up for the Mavericks.
De'Aaron King on the season averaging just over 6 yards a carry. Right now, they need to pick up half of that, 3 on 3rd down.
21-10 Tigers, 3:35 to play until halftime. Hagdorn in motion, joining the trips package left. They look over to the sideline, this side of the field for the play call.
10 on the play clock, and it looks like the Mavs are going to use their first timeout of the half.
3:22 left in quarter number 2. 21-10 Tigers over the Mavericks. This is the 2015 UIL playoffs on Texan Live.
Howdy, Eggs. Thanks for all your support this past year. Don't adjust your TV. In support of breast cancer awareness, West Point Buick GMC is donating a portion of every vehicle sale to the American Cancer Society. So if you want a new vehicle, come experience the spirit of Aggieland and help us beat the hell out of cancer too. West Point Buick GMC, easy to get to on the Katy Freeway, exit Barker Cypress both ways. West Point is just a better place to buy.
Buick GMC, a better place to buy.
The body is incredibly powerful. It's nimble and fluid, but sometimes we push it too far. That's when you need the strength of Memorial Hermann and our body of affiliated orthopedic specialists. With our Ironman Sports Medicine Institute, they not only get your body back to where it was, they get it to go further. It's what makes us more than just hospitals. We are a body of experts. Memorial Hermann, advancing health.
Michael Silvers, Ken Moore, and our Texan Live crew, NRG Stadium on a Friday night Region 3 championship game. Class 6A Division II bracket. 21-10 Katy over Manvel. 3rd down and 3 for the Mavericks. They'll scrimmage from their own 38, ball on the right hash mark.
We'll see if we can get it to their leading receiver, Sean Dykes. He's at the top of the formation on the far side.
5 receivers employed. Pass in and out of the hands of Reggie Hemphill Maps.
Boy,
right there right, and that was from DC Blades, number 29 for the Tigers, and Hemphill is unfortunately still down on the field turf.
And that was a head-to-head collision between Blades and Hemphill Maps over here on the near side. They're going to check him out, and we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Come enjoy the heart of Katy, Texas, one of the most delightful cities in the Lone Star State. The best part? It's a short drive from Houston and minutes from the NRG corridor. With places to stay and places to play. Anything you'd like to eat, and an old town charm that can't be beat. Activities and fun for the entire family. Enjoy the best of both worlds in the City of Champions, Katy, Texas. For more information, go to cityofkaty.com.
Reggie Hemphill was able to walk off the field under his own power, which is a great sign. After the collision with DC Blades, he'll take a seat on the Maverick sideline on the steel benches. And we'll see if he's going to be able to return. It's tough either way you look at it. You hope his bell wasn't rung so much that he has to remain out for the remainder of the game. It's 4th down after the pass fell incomplete.
Yeah, he's one of their leading receivers. 26 receptions on the season, 512 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Flags on the play for a legal substitution. The offense came back out on the field after Hemphill Maps was injured on the play. Looked like they may have tried to, at the very least, Ken, try to bark Katy off sides, but after that penalty for a legal substitution, the punt team's out for Manvel.
Well, a lot of mistakes for the Mavericks here in the first half. A couple of turnovers, multiple penalties. Lucky to be in this ball game at 21-10.
Anderson's 3rd punt of the day, and this is off the side of his foot and out of bounds.
Wow.
Let's see where they spot it. It could very well still remain in Maverick territory.
Oh, it will.
48-yard line. That is a 15-yard punt by Anderson. And the Tigers will begin in Maverick territory with a chance to extend their lead. They have not scored since the first quarter. They scored the game's first 21 points. Manvel have scored the last 10. Winner of this game will get the Region 4 champions, either Cibolo Steel or Schertz Clemens. We'll give you the scenarios, the when and the where at halftime. 3:13 remaining until halftime. Doron studies the defense, turns, talks to his offensive line and his running backs, and takes the snap. He turns and hands it off, and this is DeAndre Glass, the freshman phenom. Keeps his legs churning over the 45 and rumbles down to the 44-yard line. DeAndre Glass, what a start for this young man. Came in before the Tompkins game and has rushed for 641 yards as Derek Tucker brings him down after a gain of 3.
We'll go under 3 minutes, 2:48 and counting. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining before halftime.
2nd down and 7 from the Maverick 45. Borowski in motion left to right. Doron takes the snap, turns and hands it off again to DeAndre Glass, who spins down for another yard. Sean Sims, I beg your pardon, with the tackle. So it's 3rd down and 6 as Glass is stopped for 1 yard.
Well, the Maverick defense, last 3 possessions for Katy, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Right now they're facing a 3rd down and 6. The ball right in between the Toyota SWAC Football Championship logo, as the SWAC Championship will be here tomorrow afternoon between Grambling State and Alcorn State, and Katy will take their 2nd time out of the half.
2:02 left until halftime. 21-10 Tigers as we continue here inside NRG Stadium. A recap with a Cane Island game summary. 2-yard touchdown run by Kyle Porter. This was after a fumble on the opening kickoff, a muff on a pooch kick. It wasn't fielded cleanly. It was dropped by Cam Scott. 2-yard touchdown run by Kyle Porter, 7-0 Tigers. Then a 30-yard touchdown run by Porter. That was his 2nd of the game. Followed by a 2-yard touchdown run, his 3rd of the game. That was off a 47-yard punt return by Colin Wilder. 21-0 Tigers, and then Manvel started scoring. An 11-yard touchdown run by Devon Penniman here in the 2nd quarter, then a 27-yard field goal by Enos Cephas. So all the scoring for Katy in the first 12 minutes, all scoring done by Manvel here in the 2nd quarter.
Well, good job by the Mavericks to bounce back after being down 21-zip. That's when most teams would fold their tent against Katy. But the Mavs, they have a lot of confidence. They've made a few mistakes here in the first half that have them down 11 points. Still 2 minutes, 2 seconds to go. This is a big 3rd down.
Tigers 2 for 6 on 3rd downs. They have it 3rd down and 6 between the hash marks on the Manvel 44. Doron on the play fake. Throws over the middle, and that is caught by Mullins. with a flag down at the 40-yard line. He had the cover man draped all over him, Brandon Bell. But this penalty, flag down at the 40, could be on Katy.
Yeah, the penalty is actually away from the play. Great catch by Mullins across the middle at the 29. The flag is over here. Another sideline violation against the Mavericks, so that's going to be an additional 5 yards added to the end of the play, I do believe. Or will it be another warning?
16 yards on 2 receptions for Mullins. That good for 14 to move the chains. And the ball now between the hash marks at the Manvel 29. 150 and the clock is rolling here in the second quarter. 21-10 Tigers.
So we've had 3 sideline violations in the first half. 2 against the Mavericks, 1 against Katy.
Porter back in at the running back spot. Here's a pitch to Mullins and a reverse to Borowski. He's looking to throw, and he will not get the ball away, and he's lucky he loses. He fumbled the football as well. They tried the trick play. Katy recovered, so they keep the clock rolling. They reached into the bag of tricks, and for the first time since we've seen Katy this year, it did not come through.
Well, good job that time by Manvel staying at home. It was a reverse to Borowski, and here come the Tigers back to the line of scrimmage as they do a quick substitution. But Borowski tried to throw it to Doron, who went out on a pass pattern, but a good job by the Manvel defense to stop that trick play.
Second down and 14. Mullins in motion to the left. Doron on the delay. Huge hole. Porter bounces it to the outside 30. Full head of steam. Motors over the 20. Gashes down inside the 5, and he's got a first down and goal. Brandon Bell chops him out of bounds at the Manvel 4 after a 29-yard scamper.
Well, it was just a delayed draw to Porter. Started out on the left side, cut it back to the right, had a huge hole as Manvel over pursued that time. 29-yard carry for Porter. First and goal with 42 seconds to go here before halftime.
16 carries, 100 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Kirk Martin wants a timeout. The officials give it to him in advance of a first down and goal from the Manvel 4. Let's step aside. 42 seconds to go. You're listening to the 2015 UIL playoffs on Texan Live. Manvel spin their second timeout, NRG Stadium. 42 seconds to go until halftime, and a big run of 29 yards by Kyle Porter. And the Tigers are set up first down and goal from the Maverick 4, leading 21-10.
Well, big third down conversion that time, just on the after they got stopped on the trick play, and they come up with the draw play on the 29-yard scamper by Porter. This is a big, big possession as Katy tries to punch it in to extend their halftime lead.
Porter in as the running back. Williams checks in as the fullback. Turner the wing to the left. Angulo the only receiver lined up to the wide side left. First and goal from the 4. Doron pitches it out. Porter makes a cut into the end zone. Touchdown Tigers, his 4th of the game.
That's Katy's bread and butter play. Just a quick toss to the right. He goes up behind Williams and Doron. Wide open hole. Walks into the end zone. Porter back into the end zone. Katy back up top, 27-10.
Perez out for the point after touchdown try to extend the Katy lead to 18. Snap, placement, and the kick on the way. End over end through the uprights. 28-10 Tigers with 38 seconds to go until intermission. The momentum was squarely on the Manvel side. Then they fumble the football with King sliding out of his hand, trying to throw it away. They're able to get it back with a defensive stop. Can't convert on a third down. And the Tigers were able to get back into the end zone for the first time here in the second quarter and reestablish a 3-possession game.
Well, that's a Katy staple, coming up with the big plays right before halftime to really put the opposition into a hole going into the break. And now, unless Manvel can come up with some points here in the final 38 seconds, they're going to go into the halftime trailing by 18 points.
Cane Island drive summary, 4-yard touchdown run for Kyle Porter. That is number 4 for the day. 6 plays, 48 yards, 2 minutes, 35 seconds, the time of the drive. Perez adds the extra point. It is 28-10 Katy with 38 seconds to go until halftime, which will be sponsored by Panera Bread. We'll get you a recap of everything that has gone on in the first half and chat with Angel Verdejo of the Houston Chronicle, plus more. Pooch kick taken by Hagdorn, left to right, and he's got room across the 40, motoring over the 45, back into Tiger territory, and forced out of bounds. Alex DePrey, the kicker, at the 39-yard line. A solid return from right to left, and Hunter Hagdorn sets up Manvel 1st and 10 from the Tiger 39.
Well, great job that time on the return. As you mentioned, going right to left, able to cross midfield. Now Manvel will set up shop in scoring position. 39-yard line. They have 29 seconds and 1 timeout.
Manvel doesn't need a lot of time to score, especially from just 39 yards out.
Hemphill is not in the ball game.
4 receivers employed on 1st down and 10. Snap back to King. A pump fake. Pressure comes. He throws right. Picked off. Travis Willock back the other way. Slices over the 30, 35, and out of bounds at the 41-yard line. That is Willock's 5th interception of the season. Continues his team high pace for the Northwestern Pledge. His 5th interception of the season. For King, that is his 5th interception thrown on the year.
Bad decision by King, going deep down the near sideline, threw it into double coverage, and I knew that one was picked from the beginning as the safety just read his eyes. He stared down his receiver. It's picked off, and he returns it back near midfield, and we'll see if Katy tries to add some points. 18 seconds to go here before the break.
Keep in mind, the Tigers will get the ball to start the 3rd quarter, so they may just take a knee considering they have an 18-point lead. Why risk anything? We have an injury on the field, so we'll take a timeout. 18 seconds to go. 28-10 Katy on Texan Live.
The body is incredibly powerful. It's nimble and fluid, but sometimes we push it too far. That's when you need the strength of Memorial Hermann and our body of affiliated orthopedic specialists. With our Ironman Sports Medicine Institute, they not only get your body back to where it was, they get it to go further. It's what makes us more than just hospitals. We are a body of experts. Memorial Hermann, advancing health.
The injured Maverick was Mackenzie Nuora, hopped up and was able to walk off under his own power. 18 seconds to go in the second quarter, 28-10 Katy. I formation in the backfield with Porter, dot in the I, and Gulo. Sent in motion left to right, and Doron turns and hands it off to Porter. Outside right, just outside the hash marks. He is tripped up by Brian Johnson. That is a 5-yard run and a timeout taken by the Tigers, preserving 9 seconds left on the second quarter clock.
Well, they want to give the ball to Porter one more time. Anytime this kid touches the football, he's a threat to go to the house. Even on a simple I formation handoff, he can take it the distance.
Each team with 1 timeout remaining. Panera Bread halftime show coming up next.
Now, of course, we saw that.
I guess there wasn't a timeout. They have started the clock, and we have reached halftime. Halftime score, the Katy Tigers 28, the Manvel Mavericks 10. Your quick analysis of the first 24 minutes.
Well, for the Mavericks, simply too many mistakes, too many penalties, 3 turnovers in the first half, only equated to 7 Katy points, but it kept Manvel from really getting their motor going offensively. For the Tigers, they've been tremendous rushing the football here in the first half. 97 yards on the ground, 44 passing, 141 total yards to Manvel's 109.
We've completed 24 minutes here at NRG Stadium in Houston. The score, the Katy Tigers 28, the Manvel Mavericks 10. Now stay tuned for the Panera Bread halftime show. It comes your way in just a moment, right after these messages. This is the 2015 UIL playoffs, heard live here on Texan Live.
Only one network is big enough to cover the great state of Texas, and only one show travels across the state to get the skinny on high school sports every week, all year long. You want the best in high school sports? Catch High School Spotlight on Fox Sports Southwest.
Download the new Fox Sports Southwest Football Friday. Connect and get live scores statewide. Find games near you. Plus, get your photos on our Friday night show. This is the one app that can handle high school football in Texas. Get the App Store and type Football Friday. Friday high school football isn't over till you watch High School Scoreboard live. Final scores, big plays, plus the DQ Big Game of the Week.
Be a part of the most watched high school football show in Texas.
Friday on Fox Sports Southwest.
Howdy, Eggs. Thanks for all your support this past year. Don't adjust your TV. In support of breast cancer awareness, West Point Buick GMC is donating a portion of every vehicle sale to the American Cancer Society. So if you want a new vehicle, come experience the spirit of Aggieland and help us beat the hell out of cancer too. West Point Buick GMC, easy to get to on the Katy Freeway. Exit Barker Cypress both ways. West Point is just a better place to buy.
Point Buick GMC, a better place to buy.
The body is incredibly powerful. It's nimble and fluid. But sometimes we push it too far. That's when you need the strength of Memorial Hermann and our body of affiliated orthopedic specialists. With our Iron Man Sports Medicine Institute, they not only get your body back to where it was, they get it to go further. It's what makes us more than just hospitals. We are a body of experts. Memorial Hermann, advancing health.
Come enjoy the heart of Katy, Texas, one of the most delightful cities in the Lone Star State. The best part? It's a short drive from Houston and minutes from the NRG corridor. With places to stay and places to play, anything you'd like to eat, and an old town charm that can't be beat. Activities and fun for the entire family. Enjoy the best of both worlds in the City of Champions, Katy, Texas. For more information, go to cityofkaty.com.
Lieutenant Amanda Stewart and Caitlin Simmons, Sergeants Claudia Barajas, Sarah Dwyer, Sydney Lee, and Avery Taylor. The Katy Brigade receives invitations to perform at contests and events across the country, and its members serve as ambassadors throughout the Katy and greater Houston area. Bingo Brigade Executive Officers are President Cheyenne Rosemont, Vice President Bria Taylor, Treasurer Avery Seago, Spirit Chair Liza Hernandez, Spirit Chair Emily Garcia, Head Manager Jenna Vaden. Rookie of the Week is Everett Keener, Spirit Girl of the Week is Brittany Cordick, Member of the Week is Davey Wood. Brigade will be performing a prop palm routine to These Boots Are Made for Walking.
Welcome into the Panera Bread halftime show. NRG Stadium in Houston. Michael Silvers, Ken Moore. 24 minutes in the books, and the Katy Tigers are leading the Manvel Mavericks in this Region 3 championship game, 28-10. 21 of the first 21 points were scored by Katy. Then Manvel scored 10 before Katy scored their first touchdown of the second quarter. All 4 touchdowns picked up by Kyle Porter here in this first half.
Porter's been a one-man wrecking crew so far here in this first half for the Tigers, as that offensive line has really been able to move back the Manvel defense. Now, Manvel did have a good stretch at the beginning of the second period where they forced 3 consecutive 3-and-outs by Katy, but Katy able to come up at the end of the half with that big 29-yard run by Porter that set them down 1st and goal, and then they were able to punch it in just before halftime to extend their lead to 28-10.
Not a good start for the Manvel Mavericks. They cough up the game's opening kickoff as Cam Scott on a pooch kick by Alex Dupre saw it go right through his hands. The Tigers, just like last week, recovering a fumble on the opening kickoff. And after it was 21-0, in the back of your mind, are you thinking, oh, geez, here we go again, just like the previous 2 years?
Well, absolutely. That has to be the thought that comes into everybody's mind. But Coach Kirk Morton did one of his finest jobs in that first half, trying to keep his team composed, trying to calm them down. They came out hyped up, maybe a little bit too hyped up, had a lot of miscues on their first couple of possessions, but finally settled in. But a turnover late, a couple of turnovers late by De'Aaron King. He had a fumble where the ball slipped out of his hands. Also had the late interception after the big return set him up in good field position on the kickoff. Thought they might have a chance for points near the end of the break, but unfortunately they go into the halftime trailing by 18. And the bad news, Katy will get the football to begin the third period.
Right, this isn't an interception that would be similar to a punt. This was a first down play, I believe, that he throws that interception that Willock picks off.
Yeah, and it was a terrible throw. He threw it into double coverage. Just a bad throw downfield. He stared down his receiver. The safety just moved over into the pass pattern, picked it off, and then that was the end of the half. 3 turnovers for Manvel in the first half. They also had 5 penalties for 41 yards, which really hampered their efforts as well. Katy leads in all possessions so far here in the first half. They have 97 yards rushing. Manvel only 34 yards. Penniman really needs to get it going in the second half. 44 yards through the air for Katy, 75 for Manvel. Total yards 141 to 109 for Katy. First downs, Katy with 10, Manvel with 6.
And this is in terms of yardage, is right on par with the previous 2 meetings. Keep in mind, the Mavericks came into this game averaging 516.8 yards per game of total offense. They're held so far to 109. You go back to 2013, Manvel went into that game averaging 452.4 yards per game of total offense. Katy held them to 314. Last year, the Mavericks averaged 511.3 yards per game, and Katy held them to 265 in last year's regional final.
Well, we've seen Manvel be able to move the ball here in the first half. They've just keep shooting themselves in the foot with mistakes. Costly penalties at the wrong time, turnovers in inopportune moments. We saw a fumble snap as well by De'Aaron King. So they're just going to have to settle down in the second half, continue to play their game error-free, and their defense is going to have to force some turnovers. They forced 31 turnovers on the season, 0 turnovers here for Katy in the first half.
By and large, what kind of letter grade would you give the Manvel defense? Yes, those 28 points, a little bit deceiving because of field position, but overall, I think they've done a very good job at stuffing Kyle Porter and really disrupting what Doron wants to do throwing the football.
Well, I would give them a C at this point because outside of the red zone, they've been very good. They did allow that 80-yard touchdown drive on the second possession, but they have not been able to stop Kyle Porter once they get inside the red zone. Their red zone defense is really going to have to stiffen up and force Katy into some field goal attempts.
All right, coming up next, we will hope to get Angel Verdejo Jr. of the Houston Chronicle down here from the press level about 5 stories above where we are positioned here at NRG Stadium. We are at halftime, and this is the Panera Bread halftime show. The Katy Tigers have a 28-10 lead over the Manvel Mavericks. This is the 2015 UIL playoffs on Texan Live.
It's time to get in the state of football. If you can't live without your copies of the Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine while on the road, subscribe today to the digital versions of the Bible for Lone Star football fans. That's right, Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine has gone digital. Download our free app from the iTunes or Google Play Store today and subscribe. The digital subscriber to Dave Campbell's Texas Football will receive 10 exclusive editions a year, complete with extra video and audio features only found here. Within this subscription are the 6 digital-only in-season editions and exclusive recruiting edition, only available for digital readers. Or if you prefer, you can buy any one of the 10 annual digital magazines separately. Either way, get started today by downloading your free app and bring your Dave Campbell's Texas Football with you wherever you go.
Big Star Ford, Houston's fastest growing Ford dealer, year-end blowout. $15,000 off F-250s, $12,000 off F-150s, or 2015 F-150 only $339 a month. Free Yeti hoppers with every purchase. Huge discounts, best selection, most for your trade, low payments. Big Star Ford, big city discounts, small town dealing, 10 minutes south of downtown Houston off of 288. Shop BigStarFord.com. You drive, we listen.
At Panera, we decided a long time ago to avoid the easy road and switch to antibiotic-free chicken. That decision set a lot of things in motion. So now it's not just chickens raised this way. It's more ingredients you can trust. Which has taught us a lesson. Sometimes, what you think is the harder road turns out to be the only one worth being on. Panera Bread. Live consciously. Eat deliciously.
Howdy, Eggs. Thanks for all your support this past year. Don't adjust your TV. In support of breast cancer awareness, West Point Buick GMC is donating a portion of every vehicle sale to the American Cancer Society. So if you want a new vehicle, come experience the spirit of Aggieland and help us beat the hell out of cancer too. West Point Buick GMC, easy to get to on the Katy Freeway. Exit Barker Cypress both ways. West Point is just a better place to buy.
Buick GMC, a better place to buy.
Welcome back to the Panera Bread halftime show. It's halftime at NRG Stadium. The Katy Tigers with a 28-10 lead over the Manvel Mavericks. Now it's a pleasure to be joined by Angel Verdejo Jr. of the Houston Chronicle. He's their high school sports coordinator, but nothing was going to keep him away from NRG Stadium tonight, especially with the news that went down over the course of the last 48 or so hours, but we'll get to that in just a second. It was 21-0 within a blink of an eye in the first quarter, Katy on top of Manvel. At that time, up on level 8, were you thinking, oh, geez, here we go again?
I was. I mean, I even tweeted out, for all the video gamers out there, the proverbial, what's the point spread before you have to start passing the sticks? And I got a lot of answers. Some said 21-0, some said 28-0. It was bad. I mean, you look at just the very first play, the fumble, and everyone started harking back to the last week. And we saw what happened when Friendswood let that first one get away, and all of a sudden it was 66-0. I'm glad Manvel made it a game because it would have been really bad for this thing to get away. As much as Manvel's been trying to get that Katy shadow, that cloud, whatever you want to call it, away from them, going into the break down 4 scores or what it could have been would have been tough. So I'm glad they made it a game. I kind of predicted, telling most people, I thought it'd be a game for a half and maybe Katy would start pulling away in the second half. I think Manvel has a chance to make some adjustments. That defense needs to keep playing as well as it is. The defense is giving them a chance. I think offensively that's going to be the big thing because, Katy's not done scoring. That's the main thing. Katy's not done scoring, so Manvel has to find a way to, get some more points on the board.
Manvel forced 31 turnovers throughout the season. None here in the first half. What are they going to have to do defensively to try to force Katy into some mistakes?
Since they're chasing, they're going to have to start taking chances, and that's the risky part, because as most people who watch Katy doesn't make mistakes. They rarely put themselves in positions to make mistakes. Manvel feeds off of opponents' mistakes. So, yeah, Manvel will have to take some chances, and then it becomes, the risk-reward. Since you're chasing, that's the chance you're going to have to take. It may end up costing you a game, but if you get a turnover here, a fumble there, interception there, all of a sudden you can close this thing to within a one-score game when it matters.
Katy's set to get the football to begin the second half. They're already up 18. Would you dare pull a Sean Payton, come out with an onside kick to begin the second half? I think I would.
I wouldn't be opposed to that because even if you kick it deep, if you make Katy go 80 yards, okay, either they score going 80 or they punt it to you and you're going to get it at midfield. if you kick the onside and they recover, it's almost like the punt, that you would have got the ball back in midfield anyway. And like I said, if you're Manvel in the second half, you have to take chances because it's now or never. Anything you do, it's got to happen now.
Your take on the 3 consecutive series where the Mavericks pitched 3 and outs to the Katy Tiger defense, or the Tiger offense. What did you take away? What did you see down there that the Mavericks were able to do in those 3 series when they forced Katy to go 3 and out in each of them?
You know, the main thing is maybe just settle down. I mean, everyone has to remember that this is a Manvel team that for the better part of 2 years, all they've heard is you're good, but you can't beat Katy. You're really talented. You have all these Division I players, but you have to beat Katy. So, you know, the first half of that first quarter was huge. I mean, everyone had to settle in. Manvel getting those huge mistakes, the fumble and that big personal foul in that first drive, that was huge. That's one of Manvel's best players. Kept that drive alive. Katy gets on the board. Once Manvel settled in and started playing that Manvel-type defense, you saw Manvel's defense can keep them in the game. Problem is, like you said, they're chasing 18 points now. That's the problem.
We talked before the straight Jesuit Katy game down at Tully Stadium on the field, and you said when Katy and Manvel would come up, if it came up in the regional final, which it did this year, from a Manvel perspective, it's a mental thing with them because they've gone up, they've gone here, they've gotten to this stadium twice in 2 years, and each time they've been in Coach Martin's terms, whooped by this team. And now does it become more of a mental thing with them?
And that's the big block. And I'm glad at least that Coach Martin is willing to admit the reality. I mean, everyone else can say it, and I'm glad he's willing to say, yes, the last 2 years they've played Katy, and it's been ugly. The first year was really bad. Last year got bad. Personally, I thought last year was Manvel's best shot because you learn your lesson from the year before. All those guys were juniors instead of sophomores, and then obviously that night we realized that Rodney Anderson is really special. This year, you know, they got humbled early, which I think was good for Manvel. But once again, you know, the window on this group, you know, this group is senior laden. You have a new school being built in Alvin ISD. The powerhouse that is Manvel, this is probably the last year. Maybe next year, depending on how the kids get grandfathered into Shadow Creek High School. But the Manvel that we know, the window's closing, and it's closing as we speak right now at this halftime. They have to figure out a way because ultimately, if they lose this game, whatever the margin might be, they're going. Yes, Manvel's been to a state championship. They lost to Aledo. They've won a lot of games, sent a lot of kids to college. But Manvel will be defined by a team that was really talented but got blasted by Katy 3 years in a row.
Not much of a distraction for what happened over the course of the last 48 hours with the news dropping on Wednesday, the ruling on Thursday morning. You think maybe there's something mentally with the Katy Tigers in a sense that they were this close, and I mean my index finger and thumb are barely apart from having this all taken away from them. They probably got no sleep on Wednesday night.
You know, and we talked to some of the players yesterday on the way back from Austin. It was an early morning for all of us, and the players admitted that it was close. Even sitting in that meeting, despite the fact that Katy had all that paperwork filled out, and that what ultimately saved them is that they've been perfect up until yesterday with paperwork, but halfway through that meeting when they start talking about ignorance isn't an excuse and this and that, we thought in that meeting this might happen. And the players, I'm sure, from 2 hours away sitting in class, nobody was doing no one's doing any work yesterday, but watching a feed or watching Twitter, I'm sure all of them were scared. But on the flip side, we all who have seen Katy know that A, they find a way to focus, and B, if you give them motivation, they use it better than any team I've ever seen. And the fact that they almost lost their season, Gary Joseph probably spun that in one of the greatest pregame speeches I'm sure anyone's ever heard.
Debbie Decker, what character and class to shoulder all the responsibility in that meeting?
It was, last night when everything was all said and done, and I had a chance to talk to some people. Basically, she was the GOAT and the hero of the entire tale. As we all know now, essentially her mistake or not knowing the rule or not being able to find the rule that nobody could find. As everyone knows, nobody could find that rule.
Oversight.
But her oversight essentially got Katy, like you mentioned, that close to losing its season. But like we said, the fact that she's been so meticulous before, her handbooks and her procedures have been, it's been used as an example by the UIL. And essentially the fact that she batted 1,000 up until yesterday is what got Katy back to playing.
I was in favor of the decision because I'm one who likes to see the spirit of the law implemented more than the letter of the law. And I think that the UIL committee took that into their conscience for one time, let's go with the spirit of the law instead of the letter of the law.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people are going to walk away with a lot of opinions about this, and I've already heard the whole, you know, well, Katy got off this, and it's Katy that. But look, part of the reason this worked in Katy's favor is the benefit of the doubt. If you do everything right for years and years, if you slip up and admit to slipping up and try to fix it immediately, the panel, your peers, the committee will see, you know what, you're not someone who tried to get over on us. You're not someone who's cheated in the past and got caught again. You're a program, you made one mistake. We're all humans, no matter what happens, even me in the newspaper business. People can't fathom that newspapers make mistakes. We're all humans. Everyone makes mistakes, and Debbie Decker made a mistake. She owned up to it. She fixed it as fast as she could. And like I said, when you bat 1,000 for years and years and you make one mistake, the committee will side with you when you're batting 998.
Right, and that's what we talked about in the pregame is that we always see players make mistakes, the coaches make mistakes, adults make mistakes, we make mistakes up here as broadcasters. We'll call out the wrong name or the wrong number. So everyone's going to make a mistake. But the key is that you recognize your mistake like Katy did, you follow your sword like Debbie Decker did, and then you hope for the best. Everything turns out great. The better team is playing tonight. They will probably move on next week. Cibolo still looking at that possibility. What do you think?
It's gonna be another crazy game because that game last year, it was here last year. It went to overtime, and once again we talked about how close things were. Cibolo still almost beat Katy, and if you ask a lot of people in San Antonio, probably should have beat Katy. The big difference was, of course, Rodney Anderson that day. If they meet again, that Cibolo Steel team, most of those playmakers are all back. They were all sophomores and juniors. They're all back. They're hungry. They know how good they are. And, of course, if they play, they're playing in San Antonio. And, you know, home field advantage, call it whatever you want. But when you get to wake up in your own bed maybe 2 hours after your opponent had to wake up at whatever time of the morning to get on a bus, to drive 2 hours to San Antonio, to go through a walkthrough after your legs have been cramped in a bus, it makes a difference. So I do think if these two teams meet, it's almost going to be a coin toss. That said, like what I talked about earlier, if you give Katy a reason, any sort of motivation, and now they have even more. They're the team that everyone says got off on a technicality. Okay, well now it's more of the world against us, and we'll show you.
And let's keep in mind, Cibolo still have a game to play tomorrow. Schertz Clemens, and they're injured from what I'm told, with their quarterback and a running back are injured. If Schertz Clemens wins, they're coming here to take on Katy. If Clemens wins and Manvel, it doesn't matter who Manvel plays. If they win tonight, they're going to San Antonio. Angel, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming down, and enjoy the second half.
No problem, always, guys.
Angel Verdejo, Jr. of the Houston Chronicle. Coming up next, we'll run down the stats of the first half and get you ready for the second half of play. This is the 2015 playoffs on TexanLive.com.
It's time to get in the state of football. If you can't live without your copies of the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine while on the road, subscribe today to the digital versions of the Bible for Lone Star football fans. Download our free app from the iTunes or Google Play Store today and subscribe. The digital subscriber to Dave Campbell's Texas Football will receive 10 exclusive editions a year, complete with extra video and audio features only found here. Download your free app today and bring your Dave Campbell's Texas Football with you wherever you go.
Will a Texas Realtor help you negotiate your real estate deal? Absolutely. Is a Texas Realtor your best source for accurate real estate info? Unquestionably. Will a Texas Realtor show you how to fold an origami penguin? Probably not. But if you want to buy your first home, sell your ranch, get a lake house, lease a warehouse, move downtown, uptown, or out of town, a Texas Realtor is the professional for you. You're on your own with the penguin, though.
Whatever your real estate dream, a Texas Realtor can get you there. Find a Texas Realtor at texasrealestate.com.
The body is incredibly powerful. It's nimble and fluid. But sometimes we push it too far. That's when you need the strength of Memorial Hermann and our body of affiliated orthopedic specialists. With our Iron Man Sports Medicine Institute, they not only get your body back to where it was, they get it to go further. It's what makes us more than just hospitals. We are a body of experts. Memorial Hermann, advancing health.
Come enjoy the heart of Katy, Texas, one of the most delightful cities in the Lone Star State. The best part? It's a short drive from Houston and minutes from the NRG corridor. With places to stay and places to play, anything you'd like to eat, and an old town charm that can't be beat. Activities and fun for the entire family. Enjoy the best of both worlds in the City of Champions, Katy, Texas. For more information, go to cityofkaty.com.
Big Star Ford, Houston's fastest growing dealer. Why? Huge discounts, best selection, most of you trade, low payments. Or the all-new Mustang, only $299 a month. Focus, $239 a month. Escape, only $299 a month. Everybody wants to know why we're Houston's fastest growing dealer. Big Star Ford. Big city discounts, small town dealing, 10 minutes south of downtown Houston off at 288. You drive, we listen.
Michael Silver's back with you here on the Panera Bread halftime show. The Katy Tigers with a 28-10 lead over the Manvel Mavericks. Let's run down the game summary. It's been the Kyle Porter show for the Katy Tigers. He has 4 touchdowns to lead the way. Things began with a kickoff on the opening kick, a fumble by Cam Scott of the Manvel Mavericks. Katy recovered, and Porter would take a 2-yard run into the end zone for a touchdown, 7-0. He would follow that up with a 30-yard touchdown. That was his second touchdown of the first quarter, and then a third first quarter touchdown from 2 yards out. Porter 21, Manvel nothing. And then Penamon scored from an 11-yard run to give Manvel their first points of the game. It was 21-7. They would add a field goal 27 yards out by Enos Sefa, and it was 21-10 late into the second quarter when Kyle Porter ran it from 4 yards out back into the end zone for his 4th touchdown, capping off a 6-play, 48-yard drive. Clock ran out on a Katy possession to end the first half, 28-10. And let's run down the first half statistics for the Katy Tigers. 97 rushing yards, 44 yards through the aerial attack, 141 yards of total offense for the Tigers in the first quarter. They picked up 10 first downs. They were 3 for 7 on third downs, 1 penalty for 15 yards. For Manvel, 34 yards rushing, 75 yards passing for De'Aaron King, 109 yards of total offense in the first half, 6 first downs. The Mavericks, nice, 5 for 9 on third down conversions. Not so nice, the 4 penalties for 40 yards, also not nice, the 2 fumbles and the 1 interception. Teams warming up, ready to go, about to take the field for the start of the second half, and the Tigers will get the ball first to start the third quarter.
Well, I'll tell you what I would do. If I'm Manvel, as Angel talked about at halftime, they have 24 minutes left, not only in their season, but for this senior Layton ball club. They have to unleash whatever they have in their arsenal. I would come out like Sean Payton and the New Orleans Saints in the 2009 Super Bowl when they were going up against Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts. They came out with an onside kick to begin the second half, completely changed the momentum of that game. The Saints go on to win the Super Bowl. If you're Manvel, you're down 18 points. You got to kick off to Katy. Look, if Katy's going to score, they can score from 80 yards out or they can score from 30 yards out. You got to take a shot to try to get that football, in my opinion.
So you wonder if Katy will kind of try to play for that and maybe expect exactly what you're talking about. We'll see. Katy about to take the field after warming up in the end zone to our left. Manvel have already ran through and will come to their sideline. The Tigers protecting an 18-point lead, and will try to set the tone as they retake the field at NRG Stadium. The winner of this game will get the winner of Search Clemens and Cibolo Steele. If it's Katy and Steele, the game is next Saturday at Alamo Stadium in San Antonio at 2 p.m. If the Clemens Buffaloes can upset Steele tomorrow in the Region 4 championship game and Katy are successful tonight, that game will be right back here at NRG Stadium next Saturday at 2. Manvel will get the winner of Steele and Clemens next Saturday at 4 p.m. from Alamo Stadium in San Antonio. The Alamo Dome will be unavailable next week, so that is where the game will be played. Alamo Stadium, which hosted the 1999 state championship game. Seems like a lifetime ago, before the big stadiums started hosting all of these state championship games. And finally, after 4 years at Cowboy Stadium / AT&T Stadium, this year it's going to be in this building.
Well, let's see. Coach Kirk Morton has dialed up here for the opening kick. Ball lined up at the 40, right square in the middle of the field. Katy has their normal return unit on the field, but both of their return men, the deep ones, are up near the 15.
Alexis Lopez, right-footed kicker, stands 8 yards back. Ball is teed up between the hash marks on the 40-yard line. Katy will attack from right to left. Full head of steam. And a kickoff downfield, end over end kick. DeAndre Glass from the 8-yard line. Powers over the 20 to the 22. So the Tigers will need to go 78 yards to get back into the end zone. They will attack right to left. 11:56, we're 4 seconds into the third quarter, a 28-10 Tiger lead. See what BJ Gott, the offensive coordinator for the Katy Tigers, dials up here to begin things to try to set the tone for this third quarter of this Region 3 championship game.
See what this defensive front four for Manvel can dial up here. Sean Sims, Tyler Fuller, Hashawn Glasgow, Lance Bryant, 3 seniors and a junior on that front four.
DeAndre Glass in motion, fake a pitch to him, handoff, and Porter is cut down at the 26-yard line after a pickup of 4.
Very rarely have we seen Porter and Glass in the backfield at the same time. They fake the jet sweep to Glass, hand it off to Porter, picks up 4 over the left side.
Second down and 6. I formation in the backfield. Twin set to the wide side right. Motion man Mullins comes towards the line of scrimmage and will get a screen pass outside right. Got a good block by Borowski up the sideline. He is forced out of bounds at the 39-yard line. A 13-yard reception on the catch and run. Brian Johnson had a big first half defensively for the Mavericks, angled him out of bounds.
So a good job by Borowski on the outside. He had a handful of jersey as well as the cornerback. Brandon Bell was complaining to the refs that he was being held. No penalty flag. Katy picks up 13. They'll move the chains.
That is their 11th first down of the game, 1st and 10. From the Tiger 39, ball on the right hash mark. Doron studies the defense, and he turns to hand it off to Kyle Porter, who lowers himself and takes it to the 42-yard line. Gobbled up on the play by Trent Serrato, outside linebacker, sophomore, came in with 57 tackles and had 6 tackles last week against Strake.
First pivot by Doron, hands off to Porter, and good block by Eichenberger that time, crashing down from his tight end spot against the defensive end. Pickup of 3.
Second down and 7 from the 42-yard line. Mullins comes in motion left to right. Doron play fakes. Throws out to the flat, complete. First down, Trey Williams, pulled down by Deontay Anderson, who has 31 offers to play at the next level. Offers including LSU, Texas, Texas A&M, Houston, and Michigan. That's an 11-yard hookup and another Tiger first down.
Good job by Williams once again, just out in the flat. Release valve. Doron goes to his check down. Now Glass will line up as a receiver at the top of the screen.
10:15 remaining in the third quarter. Glass in motion and pre-snap flags. Play is blown dead.
This is a new wrinkle that Katy has added for this ball game.
Parker Eichenberger called for a false start. Second penalty of the night on Katy.
So what they've done, they've taken Glass, lined him up as a receiver. And he'll come in motion on a jet sweep. We've seen him fake it to him a couple of times, hand off to Porter, but we've also seen them toss it to him as well.
With those 3 takeaways, by the Tigers. They are now a plus 13 in their turnover margin. Mavericks now plus 11. They came in plus 14 in their turnover margin. After the penalty, 1st and 15, the Tigers will scrimmage from their own 47, leading 28-10. Doron takes the snap, handoff, and Porter won't go anywhere. Early to come in, Kobe Foster, junior defensive tackle, plays behind Sean Sims. And Porter stopped, so it's 2nd down and 15.
A great penetration that time by the front four of Manvel. Porter had nowhere to run, no penetration, no push from the offensive line. It'll be 2nd and long.
So Manvel defense allowing opponents 295.8 yards per game. 2nd down and 14. A receiver to each side, and Doron hands it off to the fullback, and Trey Williams is blown up back at the 45. A loss of 3. DePriest Taylor saw it well and was never fooled for 1 second.
Kyle Williams is usually very successful on those inside trap plays. Manvel had it scouted perfectly that time. Good defensive stop. Now they need a big one here on 3rd and 17.
Clock rolls to 8:45 left in the third. 28-10 Tigers. 3rd down and 17 from their own 45. Hudson in motion left to right. Also Borowski in motion. He's going to line up as Hudson crosses paths with Borowski. He stands looking at the sideline, does Hudson. And on the delay, a little Statue of Liberty play back on the ground. Williams surges over the 50 to the 49. That's a gain of 6, but well short of a 1st down as Lance Bryant gobbled him up.
Well, Coach Joseph very conservative here on that 3rd down and long, but he's okay with that. He has an 18-point lead. Clock approaching 8 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. He was able to take 4 minutes off the clock on that first possession of the 3rd quarter before punting it away.
Michael Vasquez out for his 4th punt tonight, 34, 37, and 39 yards on his previous 3 punts. Gets a good snap back, high kick, and it's going to be short, end over end backwards. It bounces all the way inside the 20 though, so an ugly looking kick. You wouldn't think by the trajectory of that kick that it was going to roll all the way down to the 16, but that's exactly what it does, a 33-yard punt.
Well, Katy got everything out of that possession that they wanted. They were able to take 4 minutes, 22 seconds off the clock, and they forced Manvel to start inside their own 20-yard line.
See what adjustments were made by Larry McCray. We told you he is a finalist for the Dave Campbell Texas Football Magazine's Assistant Coach of the Year. He is the offensive coordinator for the Manvel Mavericks, who averaged 516.8 yards per game coming in, 638.3 yards in their 3 previous postseason games. They will scrimmage from their own 17, left hash mark, shotgun for King. As a man in motion, Keelan Stokes, play fake to him, and he takes a big hit, does King, at the 20-yard line. Colin Wilder comes in, stopping King for a 3-yard run, and we should note Reggie Hemphill Maps is on the sideline. His shoulder pads are off, his jersey is on, he does not have his helmet. He is officially done for tonight's game. Big loss. On 2nd down, a play fake. King fires over the middle, wide open for the catch is Sean Dykes. He's behind the secondary, and he takes it all the way for a huge 80-yard touchdown.
Number 6, Sean Dykes.
That's the 2nd time in this postseason J.R. Blades has been burnt on a deep throw. You have to go back to the Cy Ranch game on that first play from the 3rd quarter. And Sean Dykes hauls in an 80-yard touchdown pass, his 14th touchdown of the season. We do have a Maverick down back at the 22. So we'll come back for the extra point in just a moment. 7 minutes to go, quarter number 3. Extra point to come. It's 28-16 Katy on Texan Live.
Can a Texas Realtor help you sell your home? Of course. Is a Texas Realtor your go-to source to buy property? You betcha. Will a Texas Realtor make you an omelet with salsa fresca? Unlikely. But if you want more office space, need a property manager, want to buy a ranch, get a condo, upgrade, downsize, or exchange your duplex for a triplex, a Texas Realtor is the professional for you. Just make your own omelet, okay?
Whatever your real estate dream, a Texas Realtor can get you there. Find a Texas Realtor at texasrealestate.com.
Will a Texas Realtor help you negotiate your real estate deal? Absolutely. Is a Texas Realtor your best source for accurate real estate info? Unquestionably. Will a Texas Realtor show you how to fold an origami penguin? Probably not. But if you want to buy your first home, sell your ranch, get a lake house, lease a warehouse, move downtown, uptown, or out of town, a Texas Realtor is the professional for you. You're on your own with the penguin.
Whatever your real estate dream, a Texas Realtor can get you there. Find a Texas Realtor at texasrealestate.com.
Extra point good from Enos Cefa. An 80-yard touchdown pass, D'Eriq King to Sean Dykes, the 43rd touchdown pass for D'Eriq King, and his 126th for his Manvel career. A two-play, 83-yard drive, 38 seconds the time of the drive. Cefa adds the extra point. Exactly 7 minutes to go in quarter number 3. Manvel have cut the lead to 28-17.
Well, Sean Dykes is their big play receiver. That's his 14th touchdown on the year. He leads everyone on the squad. He averages over 16 yards per reception, and he burnt blades on that one. And we talked about this in the pregame. If there was one area of the Katy defense you could expose, it would be their secondary. We saw Cy Ranch in round 2 go deep, not often enough, but they were very successful going deep. And now Manvel may have found a chink in the Katy defensive armor as they have 17 points on the board. They trail it by 11. We have 22 minutes left in this ballgame.
9th reception in the postseason for Sean Dykes. He now has 216 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. Manvel set to give it back to Katy, trailing by 11.
The key, that drive only took 38 seconds.
Glass and Mullins back deep to receive the kickoff from the right-footed Alexis Lopez. He stands 8 yards back. He's on the 32. The ball at the 40-yard line, right on the X, between the hash marks. End over end kick, sliding to his left to field it. DeAndre Glass at the 3. Motors to his right across the 15 and is upended over the 20, landing at the 21-yard line. Cam Scott down on special teams.
Man, that was a big collision back at the 13-yard line between Hunter Stinson of Katy and number 59 of Manvel, and that's Tyler Castaneda. They had a collision and both guys wobbled to their respective sidelines.
From the 21, right to left, the Tigers between the hash marks, closer to the left hash mark, leading 28-17, I formation. Turner in as a wing to the left, and Gulo, the only receiver, split to the short side left, as Doron turns and pitches to Porter. Full head of steam across the 20. Another helmet flies that belongs to a Katy Tiger, as Porter stopped at the 25-yard line by Hassan Glasgow.
Well, the Tigers have been very, very successful on those toss sweeps here tonight. Doron will toss it to the tailback. He'll lead up inside with the fullback Williams. That play is difficult to stop. 4-yard gain for the Tigers.
Hayden Howerton lost his helmet. He will have to sit out. Connor Galvan checks in. Tight end to the left, twin set right. 2nd down and 6 from the 25. Mullins comes towards the line of scrimmage in motion. Doron on the play fake. Waggles to his left, throws, and that one batted right back into his face. Getting his big hand up there was Hassan Glasgow, and it forces the Tigers to have to deal with 3rd down and 7 as the pass falls incomplete.
Yeah, just a waggle to the right side. Doron trying to throw back across his body, looking for his tight end, Eichenberger. But Glasgow able to get his big paw up, bat it away. And now the Maverick faithful on the home side rises one as they want their defense to come up with another stop here on 3rd down. 6:23 to go. Manvel trails it 28-17.
3rd down and 6 for the Tigers from their own 25. Pistol formation, twin set right. Snap back to Doron. Pressure comes. He scrambles to his right. Fires against the grain, and it is caught. What a catch at the 40-yard line by Tony Mullins. And the officials say he did haul it in at the 40. It's a 15-yard pass play.
Let's take a look at it again on the big board here at NRG. As Mullins across the middle bobbles it, did maintain control as he was being guarded by Deontay Anderson. Anderson had him draped like a blanket, and Anderson is down right now. They can ill afford to lose the senior.
Anderson down. The injury bug has hit the Manvel Mavericks tonight.
What a big-time catch by Tony Mullins. What an escape by Doron. Looked like he was dead to rights in the pocket, scrambled back to his right, and once again threw across his body as Anderson will get up and walk off the field under his own power. But what a third down throw and catch. Doron to Mullins.
Spans 15 yards as Anderson is able to jog off under his own power. Not just walk, but jog off. He'll take a seat. Needs to get his helmet back if he wants to re-enter the game, if he's going to be allowed to re-enter his game. Helmet is delivered to him, but he's still sitting down on the steel bench. First down and 10, 28-17 Tigers with 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Doron surveys the defense, pitches right to Porter, looking for blocks. Flag is thrown. This should be coming back after a 3-yard run. The Tigers may have just lost 10 on a penalty. D'Angelo Gallegos with the tackle for Manvel. This is on Katy. It'll be their their third offensive penalty tonight. Eichenberger for the hold. Bill Tully is our referee today.
Yeah, Eichenberger just grabbing and pushing. Gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
The loss.
Had a hold of Lance Bryant.
Tigers now will have to deal with first down and 20 from their own 30-yard line. Mullins to the right, split out to the left, Angulo. Williams the fullback, Porter the running back. Mullins set in motion, will join Angulo to the left on first and 20. Doron will throw. Pops, fires one left, and at the 39 it is gobbled in by Tony Mullins for 9 yards right in front of the cover man, Sasori Tolles.
Yeah, Mullins just working the outside. Defensive back slipped on the play, so that was an easy throw and catch for the second down reception.
5 catches, 55 yards for Mullins. Doron is 9 of 12 for 94 yards. All 4 Katy touchdowns scored by Kyle Porter on the ground. 5:40 left in the third, 28-17 Tigers. From right to left, it's second down and 11 from their own 39. 4-man front for Manvel. Pitch out, Porter. To the right side, he is stopped for a 1-yard loss. Manvel defense well up to the task as Kobe Foster leads the way, and it's going to be third and 11.
Great penetration that time from the linebacker, Kobe Foster, shooting the gap from the right side, untouched into the backfield to drop Porter. Now we can see if the Mavericks can come up with another stop. Katy was able to convert on their last big third down with the 15-yard pass play to Mullins. Let's see what they dial up here on third and 11.
I formation, Mullins right to the wide side of the field, split left, Angulo, third and 11 from the 39. Another play action. Doron fires up top, Angulo got there, but also one right there. We got a player down, that's Eichenberger. Angulo is down, there's a Maverick down. The pass fell incomplete.
Wow.
The cover man was Urian Hudson.
It was like a train wreck at the 45. Katy had 2 players, Angulo and Eichenberger, crossing at the same exact spot on the field. And you had 2 Maverick defenders there as well. Luckily, all 3 players get up and go to their respective sidelines. That looks scary.
And after all that is a 4th down, and Michael Vasquez out for punt duty number 5. Deontay Anderson back in the lineup. He is back deep to receive.
Back deep for the Mavericks.
Also back is Jalen Preston.
Number 1, Deontay Anderson.
From the 39-yard line, Jonathan Letter will snap it back to Vasquez. Right to the chest of Michael Vasquez that delivers a right-footed punt. It's going to bounce in front of the return man.
Got to come up and make these fair catches if you're the Mavericks.
Down
that ball bounced at the 23, rolls all the way down to the 15. That's an 8-yard difference in field position just by not making the fair catch.
46 yards on the punt, by far the best of the night for Michael Vasquez. Texan Live is your new home for Houston High School sports. The road to state continues tomorrow with a pair of games at TexanLive.com. At 1, Class 6A Division I Region 3 championship game, Dickinson and North Shore square off in the regional final. While at 3, it's Atascocita and Austin Westlake. They face off with a trip to the state semifinals on the line. It all comes your way tomorrow right here on Texan Live. Timeout on the field, 4:38 remaining, quarter number 3, 28-17 Katy on Texan Live.
It's time to get in the state of football. Do you want to be a Texas football legend? Well, sign up today for the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Legend subscription, and you'll receive a year's worth of great content that can only come from the Southwest's leading football source since 1960. Additionally, you'll get an annual historical collectible hardbound book examining the history of football across Texas. Even better, you receive a free annual subscription to the new digital package. 10 great digital and interactive magazines that download straight to your smartphone or your smart tablet year-round. What's more is all Texas Football Legends subscribers will get their name published in the next summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
.438 left in quarter number 3. The Mavericks from left to right trailing by 11. 1st and 10 from their own 15. Direct run to the outside right. Derek King is forced out of bounds by Colin Wilder at the 16-yard line. A 1-yard run for the senior quarterback headed to TCU.
Well, Derek King has been bottled up once again by this tough Katy defense. That time Colin Wilder forces him out of bounds. Only a 1-yard pickup. Love to see them to try to get Devon Penniman going either on the ground or in the passing game.
On 2nd down, play fake, King looking to launch one deep up top, and that is well overthrown as he was targeting Sean Dykes. Keegan Oddie, who has come in this defensive series for J.R. Blades after he was burnt by Dykes, was there in coverage.
Yeah, and good help over the top by Travis Willock as well. Double coverage that time on Dykes. Now the Mavericks facing a 3rd and 9. See what Katy dials up. Corey Bethley, their leading sacker, lined up wide to the right side in a 4-point stance.
Snap back to King. Pressure comes. Pass over the middle. Caught. And it'll pin on the spot at the 35-yard line.
I think with the second effort, Penniman got it.
1st down on the 3rd down conversion. That is the 6th of the night for Manvel.
Great job by Penniman coming out of the backfield, circling in front of the linebacker, made the reception, but he had to fight for the extra 2 yards to pick up the 1st down.
King 11 of 15 with a touchdown pass, fires right, that's behind Preston. DC Blades there in coverage for the Tigers at 2nd down and 10 with 4:03 left in the 3rd quarter, a 28-17 Tiger lead.
Jalen Preston not on the same page as De'Aaron King on that pass play, but on the season he's been tremendous. 11 catches, but for 257 yards. That's 23 yards a pop.
2nd down and 10 for the Mavericks. They'll scrimmage from their own 25 with 3 receivers in the game. And a handoff, Penniman right up the gut over the 25 to the 28-yard line. A run of 3 yards as Patty Fisher slashes in to make the tackle. Another 3rd down and long situation upcoming here for Kirk Martin's team.
Clock approaches 3:45 here in the 3rd. Manvel trails Katy by 11. This is a big 3rd down at their own 28.
4 down defensive linemen for the Tigers. Snap back to King on 3rd down. He is forced to run left. He dives forward over the 30 to the 33. He's about 3 yards shy of moving the sticks as Patty Fisher again was there defensively for the Tigers. So 4th down here.
Manvel's going to punt it away. I think a very wise coaching decision by Coach Kirk Morton. You don't want to get caught up and the player saying to go for it on your own 32-yard line, because if you don't make it, you give the ball to Katy in plus scoring position.
Anderson with 3 punts. This will be number 4. His last went just 15 yards. Mullins and Wilder back deep to receive. Wilder had a return of 67 yards for a touchdown last week. This one's going to go to Mullins at the 29-yard line. Outside the numbers, stays on his feet only briefly before he is tackled by Yeskin Walker-Williams. "39-yard kick by Anderson, his best of the night. The Tigers will start this possession on their own 35-yard line, leading by 11 with 2:45 to go in the third quarter of this Region 3 championship game.
A couple of time-consuming drives by Katy on their first 2 possessions. First drive, 4:22. Second drive, 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Neither resulted in points, but punts.
Quick pass to a motioning Porter looking for lead, blocks, and a flag down. Mullins will be called for holding. As it stands, it's a 6-yard pass play and a catch and run by Porter. Brian Johnson brings him down, and another Maverick is down on the turf. That is Tyler Fuller, senior defensive tackle.
He's going to hobble off. Look like he may have just turned an ankle. Looks like he's going to be okay and probably be back in after a play or 2.
Bill Tilley, the referee.
Oh. Ooh.
Well, that had to be with who Mullins was engaged with, because it looked like the flag was thrown before the tackle was made. Mark Eldridge, make it Brian Johnson, called for the face mask. That's the first penalty of this second half called on Manvel.
It's a big one. Moved the ball into Manvel territory at the 44.
28-17 Tigers. They'll scrimmage just inside the left hash mark, moving right to left from the 44 in Manvel territory. Glass in motion, gets the pitch, looking for blocks from Porter. Tries to string it out to the outside. He'll be gobbled up, leading the way, Derek Tucker, junior in the secondary, and Glass has not had a lot of touches tonight. Gains 1 yard on that, his 4th rush of the game.
A good job by the Mavericks reacting to this new wrinkle that Katy has thrown into the playbook tonight, the jet sweep to Glass. I wonder if we'll see him line up out of the I formation. He will now as a single back behind Doron.
3 receivers. Mullins and Borowski split out left on the delay. DeAndre Glass slices across the 40 and motors down to the 38-yard line. A 5-yard run, Brandon Bell gobbles them up. It's 3rd down and about 4 for the Tigers as we are inside the final 90 seconds of quarter number 3, and another Manvel Maverick is slow to get up. That is Derek Tucker at the 40-yard line.
Wow.
They're dropping like flies, Kenmore.
Unbelievable. Not sure if these guys are, doesn't look like cramping or anything. They're just getting nicked and hit. Katy, a big physical ball club. It's hard to go 48 minutes against these guys, and the Mavericks are starting to wear down here in the third period. 1:26 to go. A big 3rd and 4 coming up. Katy has converted a couple of 3rd downs on this possession. They got the big face mask a minute ago to get the ball down into Maverick territory. Now the Mavericks, a lot of second teamers on the field right now defensively.
So Tucker's going to be able to walk off under his own power. Keep in mind, ever since that collision between Reggie Hemphill Maps and DC Blades, Hemphill Maps has been out of the game. He won't return. He is just one. He's the major injury because he's not back in the lineup, but he is only one of a handful of injuries and stingers or what have you taken by this Manvel team on both sides of the ball. So now 3rd down and 4 with 38 on the 38-yard line. Mullins comes in motion towards the line of scrimmage. A 7-step drop by Doran. Fires out complete into the flats. Nice move by Williams inside the 25 and down to the 21, maybe the 20-yard line. It's going to be the 21 as Hudson collars him. after a huge play on third down, a 17-yard pass play.
Oh, the big fella put his dancing shoes on. He made a tremendous move on Brian Johnson in the open field. He looked like Kyle Porter out in the open field that time. The move he put on Brian Johnson. 17 yards on the catch and run. Katy on the move once again as we go under a minute here in the third.
33 receiving yards for Kyle Williams on 3 receptions, 1st and 10 from the 21. Pitch left, Porter gets a block outside by Williams, tries to turn the corner, flag down.
I think there's going to be a hold in the backfield on Katy. I think Kyle Williams grabbed a little jersey to help his buddy Kyle Porter get to the outside. Yeah, he grabbed Johnson by the right on the 5, between the 2 and the 5, and that's going to cost Katy 10 yards.
That's the 3rd penalty taken by Katy here in the 3rd quarter. Had all of 1 penalty in the first half for 15 yards. Penalized now 4 times for 40 yards.
That'll stop the clock with 47 seconds. Mavericks desperately need a stop to keep this a 2-possession game. Even if they can hold Katy to a field goal, that would still make it a 14-point deficit. A touchdown here by the Tigers may seal the deal.
From the 31 in Maverick territory, to the short side of the field, split left is Mullins, and Gulo to the wide side right. Porter dots the I. Mavericks show blitz, play action, Doron. Perhaps a design run, and he is gonna get sacked. Could have been worse back at the 40-yard line. He's able to at least lose about 3. Back to the 33-yard line, Lance Bryant pulls him down.
Great job by Doron. The fans on the far side for Katy, they wanted a face mask. They wanted the Aaron Rodgers treatment for Doron, but they did not get it. It was a jersey grab. Looked like a good non-call by the officials. So it'll turn into what we call a 3-yard sack, and that's going to be the end of the quarter.
After 3, Katy 28, the Mavericks of Manvel 17, and this is the 2015 UIL playoffs on Texan Live.
Download the new Fox Sports Southwest Football Friday app. Connect and get live scores statewide. Find games near you. Plus, get your photos on our Friday night show. This is the one app that can handle high school football in Texas. Hit the App Store and type Football Friday. Friday high school football isn't over till you watch High School Scoreboard live. Final scores, big plays, plus the DQ Big Game of the Week.
Be a part of the most watched high school football show in Texas.
Friday on Fox Sports Southwest.
Only one network is big enough to cover the great state of Texas, and only one show travels across the state to get the skinny on high school sports every week, all year long. You want the best in high school sports? Catch High School Spotlight on Fox Sports Southwest.
Welcome back. Start of the 4th quarter from NRG Stadium in this Region 3 championship game. Michael Silvers, Ken Moore, our producer, Will Betts. Special thanks to our spotter, Taylor Maddox, Jeremy Branham here as well. Ken, 3rd quarter stats.
Well, Katy and Manvel getting pretty close statistically. Katy 234 yards of total offense. The Mavericks with 211. Katy dominating on the ground, 120 yards to 41. Manvel having the edge through the air. De'Aaron King, 170 yards passing. Doron, 114. Katy leads in first downs, 12-8.
2nd down and 22. The Tigers will scrimmage from the Manvel 33. Now attacking left to right here at NRG.
Big statistic. Katy 0 turnovers, Manvel with 3.
Kyle Porter, the deep man out of the I formation, has scored 4 touchdowns tonight. Waiting for television to resume this game televised on Fox Sports Southwest tonight, just like this game was a season ago. Doron studies the defense. 4-man front. Employed by Manvel. Mullins in motion, right to left. And Doron on the delay. Handoff with flags down. Porter will lose more yardage back at the 40-yard line. A loss of 7 as it stands. Derek Tucker, the first one through the line of scrimmage to drop Porter for the loss.
So they're going to get Peyton Schratt for a hold, and Manvel will obviously decline this penalty and take the play.
So now do you play it conservatively or try to get the first down yardage on third down, or at least enough to get in Chris Perez's range. His long on the season is 51. Line of scrimmage is the 40-yard line in Manvel territory. It was once as deep as 21-yard line. It's a 21-yard line.
Well, you probably need to get at least 8 to 10 yards to get in field goal range. So you can get that with Kyle Porter just rushing the football.
Third down and 29. Lofting pass left sideline. Open is Angulo. He's got the first down, and he rumbles into the end zone, but he is down at the 1 as he beats the coverage of Uriah Hudson. A 39-yard pass play on third and 29.
Unbelievable. One-on-one coverage on the far sideline, and he beats Uriah Hudson, the senior defensive back. One-on-one coverage. We haven't seen much of Angulo this season tonight.
First
but
catch.
He made the big play there on third and 21.
That was the third, that was his first catch of the game. Good for 39 yards. 3 receptions for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns last week against Friendswood. First down and goal for the Tigers at the 1. Doron pitches to Porter. He's in trouble, makes a cutback. He's losing 2, maybe even 3 yards to the 4. D'Angelo Gallegos said, no way, not this time.
Well, the good news is that he lost 3 yards for the Mavericks. The bad news, that's another 40 seconds off the clock. And if Katy punches this in, it's a 3-possession game, and it's going to be a very tough climb for the Mavericks to dig out of this hole. That was the biggest play of the ball game, that 39-yard catch by Angulo.
Second down and goal from the 4, 10 and a half to play, fourth quarter, 28-17 Tigers. Sliding in motion, Trey Turner right to left. Doron to throw to the end zone, is picked off by Uriah Hudson.
Wow, he made up for the big play earlier when he got burnt by Angulo. Hudson comes up with the pick. He read the play tremendously. Turner, the fullback, went in motion. They tried the little fullback flare, and Hudson read it perfectly, comes up with the biggest play of the season for the Mavericks.
He tried to run it out, but he was tackled in the end zone, so the ball comes out at the 20. That is the 5th interception of the season for Uriah Hudson, and that is the first interception thrown by Garrett Doron since the Week 8 game against Morton Ranch.
Wow.
So in the turnover battle, at least Manvel get one back. Can they cash in? From right to left, they will begin on their own 20-yard line. Shotgun for King. Penniman off his right shoulder. He gets the snap back, avoids pressure, scrambles to his left, eludes Patty Fisher, gets back to about the 20. They may give him a yard to the 21 as Braden Boyd made sure he couldn't go any further. It's going to be second down and 9.
A lot of running around by De'Aaron King on that one. Good job protecting the football as he put both hands around it as 3 Tigers surrounded him at the 21-yard line.
12 times King has called his own number tonight for 21 yards. He turns and hands it off to Penniman, and he will spin out to the 25-yard line. Corralling him was Colin Wilder, number 27 for the Tigers. To the 25, it'll be third down and 5. As we come down to 9.5 to play, 28-17, Tigers on top of the Mavericks.
Manvel now with 3 receivers. Hunter Hagdorn in the slot up top.
Third down from the 25. King pump fakes, plenty of time, pocket collapses, and he will be tackled for a sack. He is sacked by Patty Fisher back at the 23-yard line, a loss of 2. For Fisher, that is his 3rd sack of the season. Injured majority of the season. He suffered an injury back in the Woodlands game in week 3. He came back for the playoffs.
Well, that time Manvel only went with a 3-receiver set. They had 1 H-back. They had good protection for King that time, but he couldn't find anyone open, tried to take off and run. And his old friend, Patty Fisher, was there to meet him at the line of scrimmage.
Anderson out for another punt, and we have a flag, and maybe the play clock expired as it is reset to 25. Never mind. Penalty number 6 on Manvel tonight. And they could not cash in on the interception thrown in the end zone by Garrett Doron.
And now they're going to have to defend Colin Wilder, who is a tremendous punt returner.
Snap back. Anderson unleashes the punt. It's going to be Mullins from his own 45 who calls for a fair catch. 37 yards on the kick for Anderson. The Houston High School playoffs continue next week, and Texan Live is your home for the postseason. Get your tickets to the state championships held here at NRG Stadium in Houston by following the UIL link on TexanLive.com. Then follow your team on the road to state at the home for Houston High School sports, TexanLive.com. 8:24 left in the fourth quarter. 28-17 Tigers. They will begin this possession on the right hash mark, traveling left to right from their own 46-yard line. Doron to try to make up for the interception he threw into the end zone. Takes the snap, play fake, design rollout, and a run over the 50 and out of bounds at the 44-yard line, angled out geometrically by Lance Bryant at the first down marker. Doron has been sacked twice tonight. That run of 10 yards, which will give the Tigers their 16th first down, was good to get them to -8 on the night in terms of yards on the ground.
Well, time will begin to become a factor, and now we have an officials timeout as they huddle at the Manvel 44-yard line. 8:12 to go in this one. Both teams, all 3 timeouts remaining. Katy leading by 11.
I think they want to add some time, and they do, to 8:16 of time remaining in the fourth quarter. 28-17, Katy out in front. Borowski and Mullins to the wide side left, with Mullins lined up in the slot. Williams checks in, wing to the left. The lone setback is Porter, and he will get it on the delay. Porter stutter step, and will back his way down to the 41-yard line, getting help from teammates. Outside of that 30-yard run, Kenmore, that went for a touchdown, yards have been hard to come by for Kyle Porter. He is slowly over the 100-yard mark, and that gives him 116 on 24 carries and the 4 touchdowns. Sean Sims with the tackle.
Yeah, he's been tremendous in the red zone, particularly inside the 10-yard line, but yards have been hard to come by in the middle of the field.
Garrett Doron 2-0 in regional championship games as Sean Sims slow to get out on the field. Mullins in motion, screen pass to him, complete, looking for blocks from Borowski. Gets a block from Borowski down the left sideline, over the 30 and out of bounds at the 29-yard line. A 12-yard catch and run, Deontay Anderson there to force Mullins out of bounds.
Great job that time, Doron. The quick screen pass to Mullins. It's him and Borowski. 2 Tigers against 2 defenders, and Mullins able to beat his defender, pick up 12 yards.
Mullins has hauled in 6 Garrett Doron throws tonight for 67 yards. Doron 12 of 16 for 162 yards and an interception. First down and 10. The Tigers will scrimmage from the Manvel 29, and they begin early on the offensive line. Connor Galvan drops the Tigers back 5 to the Manvel 34 with 7:30 remaining in this Region 3 championship game. A 28-17 Tiger lead, looking for their 4th straight regional title.
For the Mavericks, they're going to have to come up with another big defensive play. They have to score twice. They only have 7.5 minutes to do it. They can't allow Katy to have a time-consuming drive here.
First and 15, Mullins slides in motion, 7-step drop, firing Doron, and good coverage at the 30-yard line. Pass incomplete, intended for Mullins. Anderson there defensively for the Mavericks. It's 2nd and 15.
Great timing that time by Deontay Anderson, who's out there hobbling. He's injured earlier in the ball game, still outside, giving it his all, and he drills Mullins in the back as soon as the football arrived. The Katy faithful won a flag, but that was a good defensive play.
Turns over now to 2nd down and 15 from the Maverick 34. Clock stops, 7:25 remaining. Doron under center, studies the defense. Passes right, complete. Mullins over the 30. Motors across the 25. Tackled at the 24-yard line by London Harris. It's going to be about they're going to give him 9 on the pass play. 3rd down and 6 forthcoming.
Getting Mullins out in space has been a tremendous weapon for Coach Gary Joseph and the Tigers here tonight. Just getting him outside one-on-one. The pursuit from the Mavericks slow to get to the boundary. We'll see what they dial up here on 3rd down.
The Tigers 6 of 11 on 3rd downs. 3rd and 5 from the Maverick 24. Leading by 11. Doron with a waggle left, stops, fires, and that one is picked up by Anderson and back the other way across the 40. Motoring over midfield. He's being chased down by Angulo. He makes one man miss, that's Doron, and Anderson takes it down to the Katy 26-yard line. A second interception thrown in this 4th quarter by Garrett Doron, and Manvel are in business.
It was almost a repeat of the previous interception. Doron trying to throw it in the flat, this time to Mullins, who was in motion on the play, trying to pick up the 1st down. Anderson jumps the route, pulls the ball away from Mullins, takes off down the far sideline, and if he's not injured, he may score, but he's caught from behind. But the Mavericks in business at the Katy 26, 6.5 minutes to go. Everyone at NRG is on their feet.
King and the Mavericks begin in Tiger territory. A run right up the middle. Devon Penniman, one of his best runs of the day. Down to the 17-yard line, picking up 9 on the play. Giovanni Stewart brings him down. And the Mavericks quick to get back to the line of scrimmage on 2nd down and short. They trail by 11. Keep it on the ground. Penniman, he's got a 1st down to the 14. As we come down to 6 minutes to play, clock is stopped to set the change.
Manvel going with fast tempo now. Earlier in the ball game, it was controlled. Now they want to speed it up.
That the 8th 1st down for Manvel. King pops one out to the outside. Hagdorn makes one man miss. That was Oddie. Got some help from Wilder.
That was
a play out of bounds at the 12.
Sorry, Mike. That was a touchdown saving tackle by Wilder, as Hagdorn was able to make the 1st man miss, but Wilder able to hurry over to the far sideline and make the tackle inbounds to keep the clock running.
First reception of the night for Hagdorn. Shotgun, snap back to King. He hands it off Penniman. Right up the middle between the hash marks to the 8-yard line. Run of 3 yards. Patty Fisher collects him and drops him to make it 3rd down and a short 4.
5:20 to go. Biggest 3rd down of the night for the Mavericks.
This is the 13th 3rd down. They're 6 of 12. Snap to King. Handoff, Penniman. He's going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Wow, I don't know about that call. Running into the teeth of the Tiger defense on 3rd down. And it was 3rd and 5.
And the field goal unit will come out. So a defensive hold for the Tigers after Garrett Doron threw his 2nd interception of the night here in this 4th quarter. The first one was in the end zone. And the second one was in Manvel territory. So now the field goal unit will come out. Enos Sefa is 1 for 1 tonight, and he will try to connect from 24 yards out from the right hash mark.
This would make it a 1-possession game.
Kyle Trask will snap it. Snap, placement, the hold, and the kick is blocked, and it falls into the end zone. A flag is down, and that's going to be on the Tigers for perhaps roughing the kicker. Even if it's just running into the kicker, it's a 5-yard penalty, and the Manvel Mavericks will get new life with a 1st down.
But is it a penalty if he blocked the kick? That's the question. Oh, roughing the holder. Oh, wow.
New life for the Manvel Mavericks. So this will take the Mavericks to the 3-yard line for 1st down and goal.
They're going to mark it. Let's take a look at it here. Yeah, he ran right into the holder, but that's the first, I can tell you, something strange happens every year in the playoffs. The first time I've ever seen roughing the holder.
It was turnover city for Manvel and miscues in the first half.
Coach
Those
Gary
things
Joseph
have happened here to Katy in the second half.
having a conversation on the far side with one of the referees. Now the head official is having a conversation at the Katy 7-yard line. 4:21 on the clock. Officials want space. They push both teams back to their respective huddles as they try to decide where to place the football in the correct call here. They want to make sure that they get this right. Have you ever seen roughing the holder?
No, I haven't. Absolutely not. Not that it doesn't exist, but now the referee, Bill Tilley, comes over to talk with Kirk Morton about 5 yards off the sideline at the 28-yard line in Katy territory. 4 touchdown runs by Kyle Porter. A touchdown by Devon Penniman. A touchdown pass of 80 yards from King to Sean Dykes, and an Enos Sefa field goal. That is where we stand. With 4:21 remaining in this game, this Region 3 championship game. Winner moves on to face either Cibolo Steele or Schertz Clemens. But after roughing the holder on a blocked field goal, Manvel will have first down and goal from the 3. Bill Tilley. Wow, and Katy get the break. Since they blocked the kick, the roughing the holder does not count, and the Tigers will take over off the blocked field goal. Wow, what a turn of events.
That is just cruel and unusual punishment against the Maverick faithful and the Maverick sideline to give them new life, and then the officials take it away as quickly as they giveth. But at the end of the day, I've never heard of roughing the holder. The guy blocked the kick and fell into the holder, so I believe it's the right call.
And now the Tigers will try to take off the rest of this 4:21. Or Schertz Clemens winning in the process their 4th straight regional championship and their 14th overall as a high school football program in the state of Texas. They begin on first down with a run between the hash marks, and Kyle Porter gains 2 before DePriest Taylor was there to bring him down.
Well, Mike, I have to go back to our pregame conversation with Coach Kirk Morton. You ask him about his special teams. He iterated how many problems they've had with extra points. That field goal was essentially an extra point. I was very surprised that on 3rd and 5, he would run a simple dive play into the line instead of putting the ball in the hands of his senior quarterback, De'Eric King, and letting him make a play.
3:40 to play. Doron on the waggle left. Stops, fires, and that is too tall for Borowski. And Doron took a lick.
We're very surprised that Katy would throw the ball in that situation, stop the clock.
And throw it into coverage with Urian Hudson right there.
Doron has had a couple of interceptions here late in this ball game.
He is 13 of 20, 2 interceptions, 171 yards. 3rd down and 7, the Tigers will scrimmage from their own 23, leading 28-17 from the 23-yard line. And Gulo to the wide side left. Mullins to the short side of the field, split right. I formation on the ground. Porter right up the middle for a first down and more. Motoring over the 35 and tackled at the 38-yard line by Brandon Bell. A 15-yard run on 3rd down.
Well, whenever Katy's needed a big play on 3rd down, they've been able to dial it up. This time it's the big back Kyle Porter over the right side. We saw him rumble in the first quarter tremendously over the right side. They go back to that play here on a big 3rd down. The clock will continue to roll, and it's running out of time on the Manvel Mavericks.
3:10 and counting here in the 4th quarter of this Region 3 championship game. I formation. Ball right hash mark, 38-yard line, and a timeout from the sideline called by the Katy Tigers. We'll break. 3:02 remaining in quarter number 4. 28-17 Tigers. This is the 2015 UIL playoffs on Texan Live.
At Panera, we decided a long time ago to avoid the easy road and switch to antibiotic-free chicken. That decision set a lot of things in motion. So now it's not just chickens raised this way. It's more ingredients you can trust. Which has taught us a lesson. Sometimes, what you think is the harder road turns out to be the only one worth being on. Panera Bread. Live consciously. Eat deliciously.
Michael Silvers, Ken Moore. 3:02 left to play. Quarter number 4. Region 3 championship at stake. An 11-point lead for the Katy Tigers, 28-17. First and 10, ball on their own 38-yard line.
Well, the Mavericks will have to begin to spend their timeouts now. I'd assume Katy will continue to run the football. 3 minutes to go.
How big was that third down run, 15 yards by Porter?
Unbelievable. The kid is special.
Came in 1,418 yards rushing this season. Missed some time after getting injured in the straight Jesuit game. Over 4,300 yards, now over 4,400 yards for his Katy career. 72 touchdowns. Since starting on the varsity in 2013, playing behind Rodney Anderson.
You're the Mavericks now. You have to start grabbing at the football. Try to pull it free from Kyle Porter.
I formation, first down and 10, a receiver to each side. Doron studies the defense, turns, hands it off. Porter looking for a hole. Tackled at the 40-yard line. And gobbled up on the play by Lance Bryant, a 2-yard pickup.
Coach Morton not using his timeouts. I do not understand. You have to stop the clock here. Katy's just going to drain 40 seconds off the clock. You have 3 timeouts. You use the 3 timeouts on first, second, third down. If you stop them, you get the football back with over 2 minutes to go.
Clock winding down to 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining on this Friday night at NRG Stadium. 28-17 Katy. Doron looking over the defense on a 4-man front for the Mavericks. They bring pressure, a pitch left outside, making a cut. Porter rumbles to the 42-yard line, and now Manvel will call a timeout as D'Angelo Gallegos there to bring down number 5 for a 3-yard gain. So it's third down and 6 as the Mavericks call their first timeout of the half. Keep it here with 2:15 remaining. Anxious moments on either side. The Maverick defense, outside of allowing those first 3 touchdowns and bang, bang, bang in the first quarter, have played so admirably. One of the best defensive showings against a Tiger team this year, holding them to just 28 points. That is their lowest point total, the Katy Tigers, this season.
Well, this defense has been tremendous, particularly here in the second half. The offense and special teams put them in some difficult situations in the first period when they gave up those 21 points. Not their fault. They did give up one 80-yard touchdown drive, but other than that, they have been tremendous. A couple of big interceptions here in the fourth quarter has stalled Katy drives, but now they need their biggest play of their lives here on third down to try to stop Katy, get the football back. And they're going to need a lot of things to happen. They need to stop Katy here, go down, score, get an onside kick, and score again. I would look for Katy to keep the ball on the ground, force Manvel to use another timeout.
Third down and 6 from the 42. Glass in motion, left to right, and a pitch the other way to the left for Porter, and he gashes his way down this sideline. 40, 35-30. He motors over the 20, and he is gone. Say goodnight to this one. A 5th touchdown of the game for Kyle Porter. yards.
It was a simple toss to the left side. Doron, the quarterback, with the kick-out block on the cornerback, Hudson, and that sprung Porter down the far sideline. He takes it 58 yards to the house, and that should close the door on the Manvel Mavericks.
Perez to tack on the point after. Good snap. Baker puts the ball down, and it is Perez who knocks it through. 2:05 left to play, NRG Stadium. The Tigers 35, the Mavericks 17 here on Texan Live.
Big Star Ford, Houston's fastest growing Ford dealer, year-end blowout. $15,000 off F-250s, $12,000 off F-150s, or 2015 F-150 only $339 a month. Free Yeti hoppers with every purchase. Huge discounts, best selection, most for your trade, low payments. Big Star Ford, big city discounts, small town dealing, 10 minutes south of downtown Houston off of 288. Shop BigStarFord.com. You drive, we listen.
Before we get to the Caney Island Drive summary, I do want to make a correction. We mentioned the 28 points, now 35 was the lowest point total for the Katy Tigers held by a defense. That's since the Week 3 game against the Woodlands when they were held to 14 and a 14-7 victory. And Chris Perez will kick this one off from the 40. End-over-end kick. It will drive the return man halfway into the end zone, and coming out with it is Jalen Preston. Between the hash marks, now outside over the 20. Oh, what a move. He loses the football out of bounds as he crosses the 30-yard line. A Caney Island Drive summary. 5 touchdowns now for Kyle Porter. This one a 58-yard touchdown scamper on 3rd down. 6 plays, 80 yards, 2 minutes, 16 seconds, the time of the possession. 35-17 after the extra point knocked through by Perez, with 1:56 remaining in this Region 3 championship game.
Well, DeAndre Glass came in motion on that touchdown run off the jet sweep that they've been running here tonight. Glass actually turned upfield before the ball was snapped. That could have easily been whistled a false start against Katy.
Kyle Trask has entered the lineup as the quarterback. Completed pass to Hunter Hagdorn right in front of Hunter Stinson. A 4-yard reception as Kyle Trask enters for the first time tonight, likely to close out this one.
Yeah, I think Coach Kirk Morton has thrown up the white flag on this one.
Pass complete, screenplay, Penamon to the 38-yard line for a 3-yard hookup. That is his 5th reception of the night, brings up the 14th third down of the game for Manvel. Hunter Stinson again on the play defensively. Needing the 41-yard line, a snap through the hands. Oh, and Kyle Trask, because of that bobble, came and just turned and saw Hunter Stinson right in his face, right in his grill. That is a loss back to the 29. Big contact by Stinson on Trask.
Well, it's going to be 4th down now for the Mavericks, and of course they have to go for it under a minute.
4th down and 12 with 50 seconds to go, and penalty markers fly. That's a 9-yard loss on the sack of Kyle Trask, and Hunter Stinson barreling in for his 5th sack of the game.
Well, for the Mavericks, a much better showing than the previous 2 years. 2013, they lost this game 56-14. Last year, they lost it 45-17.
As Trask on 4th down, screen pass, Penamon out in space. He is stopped at the 29. 5-yard pass play, turnover on downs. Patty Fisher on the defensive end, and Penamon, you can tell the emotions as he walks off from the far side to the near side sideline to join his teammates. He understands the magnitude of this one. He's probably in tears.
Well, this is a senior-laden group. They put all their efforts ever since last December into getting back to Katy. They came out tonight hyped, pumped up, a little too overhamped. Had a couple of turnovers and mistakes in that first period, and before they knew it, they were down 21-zip in this ball game. But they fought back, cut it to 21-10, then 28-17. Had a chance to make it a 1-possession game with 4 minutes to go. Had a 24-yard field goal blocked. Katy was able to retain possession. Then Kyle Porter put it away with his 5th touchdown of the night. But you have to give a lot of credit to the Manvel Mavericks. This senior-laden group has put together a tremendous run over the last 3 years, really the last 4. And we wonder how things will change with a new school opening up down in Alvin next year.
And for the first time in a long time, meaningful fourth quarter football played by the Katy Tigers this season. It hasn't happened much. Victory formation. Doron takes a knee, and that should do it. They won't have to run another play. The Katy Tigers have won the Region 3 championship for the 4th consecutive year. Here at NRG Stadium, they defeat the Manvel Mavericks by a final score of 35-17. The coaches shake hands at midfield. The Tigers and the Mavericks exchanging handshakes and best wishes for the future along the 50-yard line. Katy coming this way. They are sandwiching the Manvel players. As Manvel walk on the 50, they've got Tigers on either side of them. And the Tigers move on to the state semifinals for a 4th consecutive year. And they will take on either Cibolo Steel or Schertz Clemens next Saturday afternoon, whether it be in San Antonio or here at NRG Stadium. 35-17, a hard-fought Region 3 championship game, and the Tigers come out on top. Stand by. Our post-game coverage comes your way on the other side of this break. From NRG Stadium, you've been listening to the 2015 Class 6A Division II Region 3 championship game on Texan Live.
Download the new Fox Sports Southwest Football Friday app. Connect and get live scores statewide. Find games near you. Plus, get your photos on our Friday night show. This is the one app that can handle high school football in Texas. Get the App Store and type Football Friday. Friday high school football isn't over till you watch High School Scoreboard live. Final scores, big plays, plus the DQ Big Game of the Week.
Be a part of the most watched high school football show in Texas.
Friday on Fox Sports Southwest.
Only one network is big enough to cover the great state of Texas, and only one show travels across the state to get the skinny on high school sports every week, all year long. You want the best in high school sports? Catch High School Spotlight on Fox Sports Southwest.
Other than that, I'm proud of the way they played. They played lights out. You know, you can hold a team like that to 17 points. You've done a great job, and you know it's not one or two people. It's a team. It's a team effort. And, you know, and that's what we had to have. We had to have a total team effort. They had the kind of skill and talent they did. We couldn't have done anything less than that.
Patty Fisher seemed like he was kind of shadowing King a little bit. Had a pretty good game.
They did. Well, we expected him to. You know, he's a returning, all-state football player. You know, and your great players have got to play super, and the other ones have got to step up and play good. And all of them stepped up. I was proud of each and every one of them. There's no question about that. That the kids came together like they're supposed to and played an awesome football game.
Post-game coverage here at NRG Stadium, wrapping up a 35-17 Katy Tiger victory over the Manvel Mavericks. It certainly was not easy. They led at one point 21-0 and would come out the victors at 35-17. Michael Silvers, Kenmore, our entire Texan Live crew wrapping this one up. I think a lot of people thought after it was 21-0, oh boy, just like 2013, just like 2014. But in defeat, the Manvel Mavericks have so much to be proud about. Yes, they didn't beat Katy. They wanted them one last time, especially as seniors like De'Eric King, Reggie Hemphill Maps, Devon Penamon. Just wasn't meant to be. Congratulations to Gary Joseph and the Katy Tigers, who had to deal with off-the-field issues and on-the-field issues, but they come out on top and are headed to the state semifinals.
Well, Katy does what Katy does. They came out with a strong effort in the first period, put Manvel behind the 8 ball, jumped out to that 21-zip lead. The Mavericks really shot themselves in the foot with self-inflicted errors, fumbling the opening kickoff. De'Eric King had a drop quarterback snap on a 3rd down play, forced them to punt early. Katy able to turn all those possessions into points. But the Mavericks, unlike the last 2 years, They fought back valiantly, made this a football game, got it down to 21-10. Katy was able to score just before halftime to stretch it out to 28-10. Both teams exchanged touchdowns here in the second half as we get to our final 35-17. But you look at it more closely, deep inside the numbers, the Mavericks down 28-17, had a 3rd and 5 inside the Katy 10-yard line, went to a running play inside to Pearland. He only picked up 1 yard. They had to go for the field goal with about 4.5 minutes left in the ball game. If they connect, they make it 28-20, put a lot of pressure on the Tigers as the Maverick defense had been played tremendously in the second half. But Katy, as they do, come up with the big block on the field goal attempt, and then Kyle Porter able to cap it off, take it to the house.
And on that block field goal, they avoid a roughing the holder call. It got turned around because of the block. The flag didn't count because the contact with the holder came after the block.
Yeah, absolutely. And neither one of us have ever heard of roughing the holder. I guess it's in one of those UIL rules, one of those rules that are hard to find in the rule book. But and Katy gets away scot-free on that one once again.
We talked about it coming in. The last 48 hours, now 48 plus hours, certainly a tumultuous span of time for the Katy Tigers. They didn't even know if they were going to be here, but the UIL ruled just a probation of 1 year and a public reprimand for the ineligible player that participated when the game was already in hand last week against Friendswood. We thought maybe it could be a distraction or it could be extra motivation. Turns out it was a little extra motivation.
Well, you know, we knew the great talent that they had over there, and you know, they've been putting a lot of points on the board against people, and we've had a pretty good defensive football team all year long too, and they took it as a challenge, and I'm proud of them for stepping up. You know, we gave up a cheap, easy one right there at the end at the start of the third quarter, and it's very uncharacteristic of the way we played, but you know, they bounced back. They didn't let him bother them, and we were able to go in and make several stops. It was a big win for our program. It was a big win for us. It was a big win for our school district. You know, our school district has done a great job. They didn't do anything wrong, and we, you know, made some mistakes. But you know, it wasn't about an individual. It's about a program and about a district. And I'm proud for our kids, and I'm proud for our district being able to say that they put another team in the state semifinals.
One more question. What are you doing to prepare for next week's game?
Going back to practice, but we're going to enjoy this one tonight, and we'll get our kids loosened up tomorrow and start preparing on Monday. We'll play next Saturday, so we'll have an extra day this week to try to get the bumps and bruises healed up.
Tough sledding tonight. Don't let the final score fool you. The Tigers dealt with the Manvel Mavericks, perhaps some off-the-field stuff lingering. It doesn't matter. They win 35-17 and are on to the state semifinals for a 4th consecutive year as we run down the final statistics before we sign off. For the Caney Tigers, 201 rushing yards, 193 of them credited to Kyle Porter, all 5 Tiger touchdowns belonging to the senior running back.
He had a tremendous game. I mean, he was outstanding in the red zone. The Manvel defense actually really defended him very well between the 20s, except for that last game-staking touchdown run. But really, he had a tremendous game in the red zone. It's really hard to stop the toss sweep. You can contain it to a 4-yard gain, but when it's 1st and goal from the 4, then it was some easy walk-in scores for Porter tonight.
Garrett Doron, 13 of 20, 175 yards, 2 interceptions at crucial moments of the game in the 4th quarter. The Katy defense would bail him out. 376 yards of total offense for the Tigers in this Region 3 championship game. 18 first downs. The scoreboard says 17. I have 18. I'm going to go with my stat keeping. They were 8 of 13 on 3rd downs tonight. Penalized 6 times. The 2 turnovers, and it was turnover city for Manvel in the first half. The Tigers returned the favor in the second half, but they were able to overcome those and maintain their lead and win it 35-17. For Manvel, just 52 yards rushing for the Mavericks, leading the way with 13 rushes, Devon Penamon, and a touchdown. King was 13 of 18 for 184 yards, 236 yards of total offense, 9 first downs. The Mavericks picked up 6 third downs on 14 third downs. and they were penalized 6 times for 60 yards. They had 2 fumbles, including the fumble on the opening kickoff and the interception by Travis Willock, and that was all she wrote.
Well, a tremendous ball game. I think the fans got their money's worth here tonight in this one. The television audience, as it was broadcast on Fox Sports Southwest, got their time worth tonight. It was everything we thought it would be. Manvel got off to the slow start, which we did not expect, but they were able to bounce back in this one, and you have to give them a tremendous round of applause, the Mavericks. It's going to be a tough weekend for those kids, as the realization that those seniors have played their final game in Maverick jerseys, but a lot of them will be moving on to the next level, as a lot of D1 scholarships and D2 scholarships will be coming down to some Manvel Mavericks come February.
That's going to do it here from NRG Stadium in this Class 6A Division II Region 3 championship game. The Katy Tigers win it over the Manvel Mavericks 35-17. For my partner Ken Moore, producer Will Betts, spotter in the booth Taylor Maddox, and Jeremy Branham and our entire Texan Live crew, Michael Silver saying so long on this Friday night at NRG Stadium. We will talk to you next week, either here from NRG or in Alamo Stadium in San Antonio. But until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend. So long, everybody.